Testing 1, 2, people. Here. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. We good? Hey people, how you doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. Glad you could be here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. People on Periscope, Facebook, and YouTube. It is Friday. Yes, it is. Fridays are call-in nights on the Tim Black Show. We call it Freedom Friday. That's because you get to call in. There are no screen numbers. Unless you've been booted off for being a jackass. 99.9% of people are not screened off this show. You can all call in. Let me put the phone number up real quick before I forget so people can get in, because we had a debate nights, and debate nights are historically jam-packed nights on the phone line. So the phone lines are now active. Everything looks good. Phone number is 319-527-6212. All right. I'm fresh off of watching the debates. If it weren't for Freedom Friday, I would not be doing a show tonight. I want to start my analysis of the debates by saying there are a lot of things that can be debated about tonight's debates. A lot of things we could toss back and forth. A lot of different opinions we can have because we all come in with a form of bias about our candidates. And also a distaste for certain other candidates. So all that's in the mix, sort of like already in the cake, you know what I mean? It's in the cake batter. But that being said, I have to say, based on what I've already been hearing, that there is a concerted push, man, to make Pete Buttigieg be a thing. And I'm telling you this as someone like look, you know, I watched this thing, and if I thought Pete killed it, had an exceptional night, I tell you, I say, guys, we need to go out to New Hampshire, we need to go out to Carolina, we need to get geared up. Pete is dangerous. We need to fight him. Oh, because Mayor Pete is so dangerous. But guys, I'm telling you, I don't hear that. That is not what I'm getting. That's not what I saw tonight. There is no way that if you are an honest actor, if you are just looking at these debates, that guys, there was one part of the debate, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but there was one part of this debate where Pete Buttigieg was embarrassed, probably on par with the worst embarrassments we've ever seen in the debates this cycle. And still, with being embarrassed, he not only lied once, he lied 2 times, and then attempted to lie a 3rd time. The questioner had to redirect. And then, all of a sudden, oh yeah, he remembers it differently. And the people that are judging this debate totally overlooked it as if nothing happened, as if their eyes and their ears did not witness what their eyes and their ears witnessed. So let me start from the top, guys. I got 3 sheets of paper here. We take copious notes. We also tweet during the broadcast. Follow me at Real Time Black on Facebook and on Twitter. It's interesting, okay? Interesting. One of the first things I noticed about the debate as we was getting all set up is that Andrew Yang walked out on that stage. Man, he needed some Shaft music playing behind him. Sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it to me. He walked out there without a care in the world. Just as relaxed and nonchalant and ready to go. And I was impressed with the level of swag that Andrew Yang possessed. It just spoke to me. It's like, wow, Andrew Yang is really loosey-goosey up there on the stage, and I hope he carries over into the debates because he's going to need it. He's going to need it. I heard that the Yang Gang did some restructuring over the last couple of days because the numbers that they pulled out of Iowa were a lot less than inspiring. They were so swaggadocious. He's not the only one. Biden. Biden had a lot riding on this debate as well. More than Andrew Yang. I mean, Andrew Yang is overperforming. The fact that he's in the debates, he already won, Johnson. And I know for Yang supporters, you don't want to hear that, but from where I sit, from someone who's been covering politics this cycle, last cycle, really since 2014, but I really started getting involved in 2015. I got to tell you, man, Andrew Yang has already exceeded so many expectations. This is just gravy. What you're experiencing now is a cigar and a glass of wine after the main event. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you already did it. Yeah? But Joe Biden is in no such comfortable situation. Joe Biden's entire candidacy rides on what he does tonight because there has never, ever, ever been a candidate who went on to win the nomination who didn't come in 1 or 2 in Iowa and New Hampshire. It has never happened. And I know there are people out there that say, Joe Biden's the most electable. Joe Biden is amazing. All the blacks love Joe Biden. You know what black people don't love? A loser. Okay? And that goes not only for blacks. I got a feeling Latinos don't like losers, Asians, Native Americans, all white people. Nobody loves a stinking loser. And you know what? One thing I know that transcends race? People don't like putting money on losers either. So it's going to be very hard for Joe Biden to get money from anybody other than delusional billionaires and multimillionaires going to get to his campaign, okay? So everything's riding on Joe Biden. He came in 4th in Iowa. Pretty soon, this Jedi mind trick thing you got going on with susceptible black people over the age of 50 and, I don't know, blue states or in Carolina, so you tell me. Pretty soon that's going to start to wear off, man. Yeah, because coming in 4th, we may not know too much about the Electoral College, but we know the 4th place is not a winner. So, that being said, Joe Biden, his back was up against it. Another person whose back was up against it was Amy Klobuchar, because, see, Amy Klobuchar, she came in 5th. And when you come in 5th, that's not good. I mean, unless we're talking vodka, whiskey, or rum. Get it? Those are the only types of fifths I want you showing up with. If you show up with a fifth for anything else, it's not good. I can't think of a single solitary thing where being in fifth place is a good thing. So that's where we were. Someone else who had a lot riding on tonight was Elizabeth Warren. I guess it would be easy to tell you who didn't have anything riding on anything. I think that Bernie Sanders and Pete Buttigieg, based on their performances in Iowa, regardless of how you feel about it, I'm not a Buttigieg fan, but the numbers don't lie. The numbers do lie, actually. That's a horrible thing to say, isn't it? How can I say this? Whether we like Pete or not, he placed highly in Iowa, right? Okay, so this was not as important to Pete. Not as important. But in a way it was. Look, I know this kind of sounds complicated. It's like double speak, but let me put it this way. I feel that Mayor Pete, his thing was to show that he actually deserves to be considered a front runner. Okay? That's what this was tonight for him. A little bit different. This is psychological for Pete. In the minds of voters, is Pete really a contender? Forget the niceties. You want to feel good. You supported the guy who's got a male wife, fine, or a male companion or whatever. This is new for our politics. That feels good. Feels like the country's moving forward. I understand it. That's natural to people to feel that way. This is like breaking another barrier in the world for some reason. Like this is something, the same way we felt about Obama. There are people that feel the same way about Mayor Pete. The same way people look at Andrew Yang and they say, look at Andrew Yang. First Asian man really competing for the Democratic nomination. These are important to those people who look at this and see, hey, man, the country's moving forward. Not just one viable woman running, but multiple viable women running for the nomination. These are all big things, but here's the deal. Is Pete truly a front runner? I don't think anybody ever felt that Elizabeth Warren was not in contention for front runner status. She fell off, but she was there. She was there, okay? And Hillary had already been there, so it's not like it's a new thing. So anyway, back to this, man. I'm looking at this entire thing, and I'm saying, overall, what I'm expecting is Joe Biden has to come out and have a performance of his life. He cannot come out flat. He cannot come out skipping the beat, leaving his car keys running in the ignition while he in the house in the bathtub. Like, he cannot do these things. He has to actually come out and perform and be quick to it and be aggressive and stay on topic. He cannot meander down the street. He can't be down at the grocery store when he's supposed to be over here hanging out the laundry. He needs to be on one point. Make that point, stick the landing, shut it up, and let the moderator continue the conversation. Joe Biden couldn't do it, man. He could not do it. Now, we could go tit for tat over every question, over every situation where he failed to do that, which was necessary for him. But in the Medicare for All conversation, which is basically getting old, I mean, it's beyond old at this point. Bernie Sanders comes up with reasons why Medicare for All makes sense. Joe Biden says a bunch of same old talking points about cost. You won't tell us how much it's going to cost. He never brings up the fact we pay more than anybody already. That part escapes him. So it's always the same talking points. And then Buttigieg, he falls in, and Klobuchar, they all fall in. So they're all anti-getting Medicare for all. They're all anti-universal health care. Great place for Bernie to be against these guys. This is good. But does Biden really make a cogent argument why we should not have it? No, because it's not an argument you really can make. Doesn't make sense. He never really explains why other countries should have it and why we shouldn't. Well, we got to, everybody else got a Christmas tree, but we're not going to have a Christmas tree because Christmas is for losers. That type of thing. It doesn't make, well, we don't celebrate Christmas. And I grew up not celebrating Christmas, by the way. But the point is, we had a reason. We're in a cult-like religion. That's what the reason. And I was a kid. I didn't have a choice. I wanted Christmas. I just could not. I wasn't running things. Which may be the same reason why we don't have Medicare for all. I digress, guys. The point is, Joe Biden did not impress me tonight, and it was necessary for him to impress. Bernie Sanders basically said that Joe's plan for Medicare for all, his form of health care reform, is a big fat waste of money. And then, of course, Klobuchar followed up with, we're going to be pushing 10 million people off of health care or whatever. And people clap when she says it. These are people who have the best coverage in the world and don't need better coverage. Or these are the people who aren't sick yet. Because that's typically when you find out how bad your coverage really is, when you go to use it. That's when you find out. So all the people clapping, yay, Amy's right, are the same people that would have clapped. We can't free the slaves. Why not? Well, we're going to have 1 million black people unemployed. We don't want to add to unemployment. Yeah, but they'll be free. This is the logic of Klobuchar supporters. There was one part of this that, I don't know, I tweeted about it and I didn't get much response from it. It was really weird because in the middle of an answer to a question that was kind of important about Medicare for all, could have been about trade, I forget what it was about. Elizabeth Warren, who is obviously a woman, stops and says, and I like saying this part. Oh, I like saying this part. In her presidency. Then she paused for people to clap. This is the most cringy, self-aggrandizing, grandstanding BS actions a presidential candidate can prompt in a debate is, let me pause. Let me say something that's gratuitous that really makes no point at all, just so people can clap and people can feel, I don't know what it is. It's like a mercy clap, and it was horrible. Elizabeth Warren, I don't know you. We've never met. We've never taken a selfie. And really, you haven't taken any selfies either. What you've taken are portraits. You know, when people take the phone from you and take a picture of you with other people, that's called a portrait. It's just a picture. But anyway, the point is this. I don't know you. We've never done whatever that is that you call yourself doing. But I know that you're a woman. And we know that you're in her. And you know that I'm a him or a he. And we don't need to talk about these things. We obviously see it. What I would love for you to do, is to prove to me that anything that you say you're going to fight for up there, because you love talking about being a fighter, that you're actually going to fight for it, tooth and nail, go down with this ship fighting for it. Not fight for it as long as it's comfortable. Not fight for it as long as it's more popular. Not fight for it until somebody like Mayor Pete says something and you can't answer his question and you just backtrack totally with your tail between your legs. No, we mean fight for it and stick with it. Because we already understand that you're a woman. That's not why I would vote for you. And that's not how you're going to win the nomination if you were to win it. You would not win it because you're a woman. You would win it because you have the best ideas, or because you convinced people, or because you're going to make their lives better and they believe in you. They trust you. You're a leader. These are the reasons why. That and you raise a whole lot of money and you spent a whole lot of money, because that's our system. Our system sucks. It was disappointing more people didn't have a problem with it. But, you know, a lot of people that follow me on Twitter, some of those people are, you know. I haven't mentioned this guy's name yet, have I? Steyer, pants on fire. You know, Steyer is not, he's not a pushover. In fact, I found myself a couple of times tonight going, wow. I know there's no black people on the stage, but Steyer is closer to black than Kamala and Corey and Joe Biden put together. I mean, I was impressed at his level of concern about the blacks. And Steyer, he mentioned blacks in the first hour, the second hour. And in fact, they had a question, they had a section. You know, they bring us up when they start talking about jail and shit. That's what black people matter. We need to talk about mass incarceration. Oh, we got to mention the blacks. But Starr was bringing this up in other contexts, like economics, things of that nature. And to that, I was kind of impressed. Yeah, interesting stuff. Buttigieg, like I said, he had a lot on the line when it comes to the psychology because of him doing well in Iowa, whether manufactured or whether he actually did well, Johnson. But there were things he did tonight that took away from that. He says, we're going to win because we're going to put up someone from a middle-class family who's able to unify the country. He was talking about himself. Pete, there are things about you that aren't very unifying. Your hands look like cups because they're always begging for big money. This is not good. This is not a unifying principle. I know your people in your bubble, the Democratic elitist bubble, they make you believe that these are good things, that all Americans just go, oh, what the hell? But there are a lot of Americans who know that money is rotting our politics. It's not making our politics better. So you suggesting that you are a unifier, I don't even know how you're a unifier, with what people? Oh, because you get disaffected white liberals who don't need government to function for them to have a decent life because they're already doing very well, and other whites who are a little bit older who are also doing pretty well. Get the running thread. Most of the people that support you are pretty much the same person. Just some of them believe in same-sex marriage and others believe in same-sex marriage and war. Can't forget the war part. Because Mayor Pete and Joe Biden showed their asses when they came to war tonight. When that conversation came up, man, they were very clearly some warmongering sons of... They have no problem taking Americans to war. In fact, they seem like they enjoy it or would enjoy it. Now, there were points where Andrew Yang did pretty well. There was a part where he talked about how, his usual spiel. We need to focus on the problems that got us Donald Trump, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a symptom, and the things that we've been saying in the independent media circles for, I don't know, since Donald Trump got elected. It's like it's always amazing to me. There are some of us, right, and who have been talking about this stuff since 2015. You know who they are if you watch this show. And if you're in the community, you already know. I don't want to name names because some of those people, we're not friends right now. But we've been talking about this, and we've been on each other's show, and we've been on tours together. We've all pretty much been saying the same things about Donald Trump. And then all of a sudden, a couple politicians lean into our communities, hear a couple of words, and then all of a sudden now, everyone goes, yeah, that guy's got something. We've been saying that you can't just run a campaign on Trump bad, Trump evil, evil Trump, and think you're going to win. And we've been saying that the country was screwed up. I had a joke I've been telling since like 2016 that we had these Democrats who pretended that the world was great. Everything was fine. We were all skipping, holding hands, black guy, white guy, Asian guy, Latino guy, gay guy, straight guy, Native American guy, everybody holding hands, trans person, in a line, looking up in a blue sky. And then came Trump. And then the sky turned dark, and dogs and puppies were raining from the sky on fire, and squirrels were shooting each other on the corners, and hail was pouring down along with a strange wintry mix of saliva and the bullets, and intestines were throwing, and there was a big gust of wind blowing around used underwear that wasn't cleaned, and all these things happened because Trump came. We've been saying that forever, that these people are delusional. But all of a sudden now, when politicians say it, it's like they're saying something great. No. All they did was eavesdrop on independent media, man. That's all you bastards did, all of you. All of you. All you did is eavesdrop on us having these conversations. So I'm sorry if I don't give a bunch of kudos to Andrew Yang saying what we've been saying for 4 or 5 years. I know you're new to politics and you didn't know people talk that way, but we've been talking that way. And we got censored for it. We got our channels shut down or limited for years saying the same things he says on the campaign trail. For years. All of them. That's just a gratuitous note. I just want you guys to know we've been up on game. That's all. But yeah, I still like hearing Andrew Yang say it because it's true. And yes, it's going to score points. And yeah, but it's not enough. It's not enough because when we get out to the weeds and we start talking about the real problems in this country, Andrew Yang just keeps saying the same thing. And though I like the idea of giving people money, we need to give people institutions that work. We need to give people other mechanisms that work as well. If not, all you're really doing is giving money to the landlords. Hey, get the money to the landlord. Hey, get the money to the landlord. One sickness away from living on the street will not change because you got $1,000 last month. Come try to spend that where I'm at, in Maryland. But anyway, the point is, Andrew Yang has already exceeded expectations. I've already said that. There was one part, and this is probably the most pissed off, the most angry, the part of the show, of the debate, not called it a show, but it seemed like a show. The part of the show that got me the most pissed off was they actually asked us a question about Hillary Clinton. I mean, they actually took up our damn time asking the candidates what they thought about something Hillary Clinton said. Listen, guys, Hillary ain't running. There is no reason why our politics need be focused around Hillary Clinton for that long. If we take that long to discuss her as a presidential candidate, a presidential debate for a nomination she ain't running in, we've taken that much longer than we should have. So I was very glad to hear Amy Klobuchar breeze past it. It was really nice because, you know, the question was about Bernie. Well, Hillary Clinton said that she didn't like Bernie and Bernie didn't get anything done. So, Amy Klobuchar, what do you think about that? And I'm so glad Amy Klobuchar. I'm so glad that Amy Klobuchar took the high road and ignored this BS so we can get back to business. Because no one cares what Hillary Clinton thinks. But I would like to note, when Amy Klobuchar is taking her little bow about working with Bernie on trying to reduce the cost of pharmaceuticals, please note that when the rubber met the road and it was time to vote, Amy went with the Republicans. Yeah, like she leaves that part out. And I think Bernie has decided not to push the issue. You know? Yeah. He's decided maybe it's not a hill to die on because a lot of the, Democrats who want to call him a misogynist or make up a way to make it wrong for him to call out Amy for pretending that she supported him, that she really was a fighter for progressive-like policies when she wasn't. So anyway, I just thought I'd throw that in there because every debate, Amy finds a way to cozy up to Bernie. Hey, I'm Amy, and by the way, from Minnesota, and my dad's a drunk, and she does that. And Amy, me and Bernie worked together before, and he's a really good guy, but screw him. He can go to hell. Then she starts quivering the lip or whatever. Oh, but we have to, and we got to fight for it, man. She starts doing all that shit, and it skips over the part where she threw us all under the bus and sided with the Republicans. That's the part she leaves out. This is one of the reasons why Amy Klobuchar, she famously says she's won in red states. That's because she's part red. She's purple. That's the real reason. So anyway. But thank you for not giving Hillary the time of day. Okay. Buttigieg talked about a policy. Someone brought it up about policy about decriminalizing all drugs. And I think Pete has it mislabeled on his website because it looks like he's saying, we're going to decriminalize drugs. But what he's really saying is He just won't prosecute you if they find you with something. Something like that's kind of weird. But you know how it is when they use the politispeak to give you the impression that their policy means one thing, but then when you start asking questions, it's scaled back significantly. Yeah, one of those weird fake outs. Trying to get us to fall for the okie doke. One of those things. So that became a sticking point. But once again, the people that say that Pete did so well, they act like that never happened. Never happened. What else? There was one part, you ain't talked about drug treatment centers. Mandatory drug treatment centers. And if there's one part where Amy Klobuchar did a good job, it's when she stuck it to Yang about the drug treatment centers. All she said was, how you going to pay for them, Yang? How you going to pay for drug treatment centers? Now, I know we want to say we end the wars, but Yang didn't even say that. I don't remember if he even responded. Now, part of Yang not responding may not even be Yang. It could just been a moderator. But I thought it was pretty substantive and accurate for Amy to say, that sounds like a good idea, but how you going to pay for it? And then she had a list of ways to pay for some of her plans. The only problem was she talked so long, and at the end it just became self-congratulatory or patting herself on the back about who knows what, that you forgot what point she was trying to make. And Amy does that a lot. Yeah, everything Amy says leads back to Amy and why you should elect Amy. And you need to go to Amy's website. Amy, what time is it? Well, it's 6:32, and, you know, the clock and the watch and the time and what I was working on the legislation, and I was the first, and I survived, and I got it done, and I've been passed the legislation, and go to amyklobuchar.2020.com to give money. Okay. I would be remiss if I did not mention that Bernie Sanders had a hell of a night. Yeah, he had a hell of a night, Johnson. You know, he didn't even need to have a hell of a night. In fact, if I'm Pete, I'm going, come on, Bert. Is it possible you could not have such a good night? Because I've never been a front runner before, and I'd really like to stay being a front runner. And in this current climate of front runnership, it'd be really great if a fresh young faced man with no hair anywhere on his body could become the front runner of a Democratic Party, even if I will not succeed, and even if Trump is somewhere chomping at the bit, hoping it's me, because he will easily dismantle me and put me in a suitcase and send me back to South Bend, Indiana. Please, Bernie, would you consider not winning tonight? And Bernie was like, I wrote the damn bill. I wrote the damn bill. Just get off my lawn. Get away. Oh, good. Go. Bye. Bernie kicked ass tonight. And I can't say he did anything particularly that was like amazing. He's just hell of consistent. He's consistently going to tell you the same thing. He's going to triple down. And in a sea of people that sometimes, you get the little wavering of Elizabeth Warren, the politispeak untangle web of Pete Buttigieg, and I don't know what you call what Joe Biden's doing. I'm not sure what it is, but it's scary. Whatever it is, it's like something's not there. Like, it's there in moments. It's like weird. In some moments, Joe Biden is right on point. You're like, damn, Joe's pretty good. Then, out of nowhere, we take a trip to Funky Town. Woo-wee! Funky Town. And it's like, what is Joe? So Bernie Sanders doesn't have moments like that. It's like deliberate strikes. He looks at your chest and goes, I'm going to punch you in the chest. And you're like, you ain't going to punch. You punched me in the chest. I said I was going to punch you in the chest. And then later on, he looks at you, he's like, I'm going to punch you in the chest again. You're like, you already tried to do that. You punched me in the chest again. And it's like that the entire time. It's like nothing sneaky, nothing, it's no trickery. There's no gamesmanship. It's just straight line, real deal. And that's what I think people don't like about Bernie, is that they can't play the games with him. I find it impressive. I prefer it Personally, I prefer it. I prefer realness, bluntness, to the point. What you gonna do for me? What can I count on you for? What do you believe? What do you not believe in? Thank you. Good. Now I can go make my mind up. As opposed to, here goes nice words. Here goes something pretty to say. Here goes reasons why you should support my group or my kind of people, or people who look like me, or people who use the bathroom like me, or people who love like me, or people who come from this region, or whatever the hell. These people like Pete's running on, he's from the Midwest. Amy's running on, she's from the Midwest, plus she's a woman, and she's short. And Elizabeth Warren's running on, she wanted to be a teacher, and she's a woman. And Biden's running on, he used to be able to think and talk like in a way that made sense, even though he was sort of bigoted. Like, they're all running on these things, and Bernie's the only one like running on like, look, I have a vision for America. I have a vision for how this country could be better. And when he keeps saying we need to get the money out of politics, we need to take back our country from the corporations and the billionaires, it's straight line. It's like it's the same answer. And whether you think that's sexy or cool or whatever, at least you know what his intentions are. That to me is relieving. It's a relief to know. Like, dude, look, can I count on? There's 5 guys waiting outside to kick our ass. Well, I'll help you with 2 of them. Okay, I know. I got to be in to knock out 3 guys, or we need to get us another couple guys. But the last thing you want to do is get the guy that says, I can take 4 of them. You're like, 4 of them? And you get out there and he runs. How is it hard to understand which person you'd rather have on your team? And that, my friends, is what this election, this nomination, has been coming down for us. And as much as they want to paint us as idealizing Bernie Sanders or code of personality or any of this other garbage that they like to use to discredit us, that's really all it is. And it's not our fault, nor should we apologize for not being attracted to folks who cannot be deliberate, very plain spoken about what they're trying to accomplish. Okay. There was a conversation about guns that Joe Biden tried to hit Bernie on because Bernie hit him so many times on so many things. He's like, Bernie voted against the Brady bill or something. And, I had this conversation when I had Ben and Jerry. I had Ben on the show, Ben Cohen on the show, the co-founder of Ben and Jerry's. Vermont is not Maryland. Vermont is not New Jersey. Vermont is the people of Vermont is who Bernie has represented when he was in Congress. And they didn't have gun laws like we have gun laws. It's rural. They hunt squirrel and moose or whatever. And it's different. I know it's so disingenuous because I know Delaware, where Biden's from, it's like an hour for me, right? And I'm 20 minutes outside of D.C. now. But I grew up 2 minutes outside of D.C. and was born in D.C. Delaware is not far away, 45 minutes. Joe Biden's, where Joe Biden served his state, totally different than Vermont. He knows that. He knows the culture's different. He knows in the schools, they had gun classes in Vermont. Like Vermont, the cultures across this country are vastly different from state to state, particularly region to region. I like the fact that Bernie Sanders didn't waste a whole lot of time trying to explain. If people are that dense and they don't understand, I think most voters get it. I think they get it, that there's different Americas, depending on where you are, which necessitate different rules or different laws. But Bernie concedes that back in 1984, things were different in Vermont than they are in 2020. And he would do it differently now because it's not 1984 anymore. Or 94. Or whatever it was. Okay. I guess his body felt like he got to do something. But folks, it was not enough. It was not enough. There was one part, guys, before I do the wrap-up, there was one part. Because there's a lot of stuff said. This video could be 18 hours long. We got to get to phone lines. I will say this. There was a part where the one of the moderators, I think her name is Stacy, she asked Pete Buttigieg about black incarceration levels in South Bend, Indiana. And she said, hey, Pete, when you were mayor of South Bend, Indiana, incarceration rate went up. It went up over you. Under you, it went up. And Pete's like, no, it didn't. It went down. She's like, no, Pete, it went up. Why did it go up? Pete's like, but no, it went down. He's like, no, Pete, it went up. We want to know why. When you came in 2012, it was one way. When you were still there in 2018, the last year that we had data, it was still up. Then suddenly, Pete remembers we had a gang problem and we had to lock up the blacks, you know. We had to do that because we had so many people just dropping like flies in the black community. So in order to save the blacks, we just threw them in jail. Aunt B. It's the only thing we could do with the blacks is lock them up. And it just harkened back to Joe Biden. Yeah, it seemed like he took a page out the Joe Biden Mass Incarceration Handbook, 1994 edition. But the difference is, at least Joe Biden could say, hey, that was 1993 or whatever. And it was different. And the black pastors was like, please, Joe, lock up the black kids. Well, aren't those your kids? Yeah, but I can't do nothing with them, Joe. Lock them up, please. I'm trying to sell my vacuum cleaners, and we can't sell vacuum cleaners and 8-track tape decks or whatever, CD-ROM cassettes, or we can't do our business because they keep shooting at the store. And Biden was like, oh, well, guess we got to do it then because I'd rather not do it because, you know, rather not just throw the black people away like that. But, hey, if you say it's the right thing to do, well, then I'll give every black person 100 years for a little bit of weed and give them 20 times the amount of time we give a white kid for a piece of cocaine, the same amount of crack. But if that's what you want, I guess I'll have to do it. You're twisting my arm making me do this. I know it's wrong to do. And the point is that Pete Buttigieg had no problem in the mid-2000s, guys. We're talking, look, when I hit Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, and Pete Buttigieg, I'm not hitting them for things they did in 2000, though, or 1998, though that would be reasonable and logical and fair game. This is politics. The best indicator of future activity is past activity. But when I criticize Pete and Kamala and Amy Klobuchar, it's about things they did not that long ago. Pete governed South Bend with the same mentality of lock the blacks up and get rid of them that Joe Biden had back in the 90s. And this guy thinks he can be the nominee for the Democratic Party. And I'm going to tell you this, guys. I'm dead against it. I will fight against it every step of the way. I have no problem with you being a law and order candidate, but I think you should do so in the Republican Party. That's the party of law and order. And I'm tired of fake Democrats pretending to care when they really don't. And all they do is do the same things Republicans would do. And the only difference is they're doing it with a D on their shirt instead of an R on their shirt. Now, all of this happened right here on this debate. He was caught lying. 3 redirects to get him to admit he was full of shit. And then still, we got screw-ups, we got scumbags and screwballs who looked at this debate and said, Pete did well. He got caught a liar on national TV with the group of people that he is famously doing bad with on an issue of incarceration. And they still said Pete did well. Folks, I don't know what alternative universe they live in, but that universe revolves around Pete. All right, guys, we'll take a quick break, come back. I'll give you the winners, losers, and who needs to go right after this. Oh, there you go. My name is Tim Black. You are now tuned into the most watched black independent media news network in the country. We cover politics, we cover pop culture, we cover whatever matters in your world. If it goes down, I'm covering it. We do a show, live show, Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Friday nights, we got what? A call-in show. Anybody can call in. Throughout the week, We put out little clips, short clips of important news. You don't want to miss it. Stay on top of your news. Go with a reliable source. I'm there for you. TBTV, this is where it's at. Subscribe today and remember, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. Johnson. Popular demand, Johnson is here. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious. They are revolutionary. And they're all Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck, Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack. Yes. Oh, man. Okay. All right, guys, so the phone number is 319-527-6212. If you're not lined up in the queue, you should get in there now because this is going to be quick. This is going to be to the point. Quick and to the point. Closing statements were uneventful for the most part, but I will say that there were a couple standouts in the closing arguments section. I thought that I thought that Joe Biden actually had a decent closer because he talked about being a single dad. And I think that resonates, and that's something that I don't hear much people talk about. And yes, I know it's a personal story, but that's what your closer should be, somehow relate to your own story. But it's hard not to feel a connection to a person who articulates what it was like to lose his wife and be a single dad and get help from his sisters in order to raise his children, and then he talked a little bit about that. So I thought that was effective. And then also in closers, I thought Bernie Sanders' closer was strong because it wasn't about him at all. Totally opposite of Joe Biden. It was all about what these policies will mean for people's lives. The Medicare for all, the job programs, the cleaning up of the environment, the Green New Deal, what these things will mean for voters and how this translates. So I thought that was good. On the bad side, once again, Klobuchar went with a personal story, but it was different. The Voice was doing the fake quiver thing. I can't stand the fake quiver thing. I got a problem with that. She says she has a record of fighting for the people. Stay there. Don't go to the quiver voice. Don't sound like you're about to break down. This is unnecessary. I feel like I'm being manipulated. Buttigieg, leave the he kept saying leave the policies of the past in the past and the politics of the past in the past. Yeah, he should have thought about doing that when he was the mayor of South Bend with no blacks in his administration. That's the politics of the past. So it's just words with Mayor Pete. So here we are, guys. 7 candidates, winners and losers. Winners, losers, and go-homers. Okay, so who should go home? How do we start this? What's the best way to do it? Okay, so who should go home? We'll start with that because it's hard to say. Who should go home? I think that Joe Biden should go home. I think tonight Joe Biden is in 2 columns. He's in a I'm a loser column, and he's in the he should go home column. Look, guys, Joe Biden has consistently underperformed. He was in a position. He had more advantage than anyone else coming into the Democratic nomination process of 2020. This was the guy who just finished serving out 2 terms under a popular first black president. And he can come, somehow he snatches failure from the jaws of victory. Somehow he's unable to seal the deal and even do respectively in places like Iowa and once again New Hampshire now, going into New Hampshire. I do not believe that Joe Biden performed well tonight. I think that Joe Biden did not pull Joe Biden out of the dirt, so to speak. So I think I'm not going to say he's a goner. I'll say he was a loser. But I think this losing tonight will put him in the goner column. if that makes sense. I thought who had a good night tonight? I think Bernie Sanders had a good night tonight. He's the most consistent, most stable politician in this race. If you don't believe me, just look at his stats. He's the most stable of all the candidates. There's very little up and ebb and flow with Bernie Sanders, especially post heart surgery. And even before then, he was pretty stable. And now he's been going the right direction ever since. And tonight was no different. He did a great job. Very much on point, very much on brand, being who he is. And I thought he did very well. Mayor Pete, disappointing. I think if you're a Mayor Pete supporter, you may see this a little differently because there was no knockout blow. But I feel like in order for Pete to be viable beyond the very whitest of white states like Iowa, like New Hampshire, he's going to have to do well with Latinos and blacks. And tonight, where did he take the biggest hit? With Latinos and blacks. And it just so happens to be a black moderator questioning him about mass incarceration, and he suddenly forgot about what happened, or what the remedy was, or what the solution was, or what his thought process was. And he has not that far removed from the position of mayor in South Bend. I mean, he just stopped being the mayor a month ago. And he can't remember his policies? So winners tonight, Bernie Sanders, thought he did well. I will go ahead and submit that maybe Amy Klobuchar did not do as well as some people are saying, but I think that she did enough to take votes away from Joe Biden. That I will give you. I think she did enough to take votes away from Joe Biden. Do I think she does enough to move from 5th place to 3rd place? I don't think she did, Johnson. She did not have a crushing, amazing superstar performance. But it was a winning performance that may enable her to last a little bit longer in New Hampshire. But I can't see her moving past 3rd place or above 3rd place. And wouldn't that be a real win? Okay, so the losers of the night, I think I stated those. And I want to also add another win in this column. And I've been thinking about this. It's not about who I think is going to win the nomination, but who I thought did a great job, who I think overperformed tonight in this particular debate. So please, keep that in mind. I'm not talking about who's going to become the nominee. I'm talking about in this performance tonight, who did great, who overperformed. I think you got to give it up for Tom Steyer. I think Tom Steyer was one of the most consistent. He was right there the entire time. I don't know if he's pandering to black folks, but just his ability to bring up black issues puts him in the running for doing well. And then he was consistently talking about, hey, we don't just need to sit around and down talk Trump. We need to talk about what our solutions are going to be like and how we're going to economically benefit. And when you look at the top 3 things that matter to voters, healthcare, economics, and immigration. Those are your top 3. Healthcare, economics, immigration. Tom Steyer is the one saying we need to focus on economics. Makes sense to me. So there you go. My winners, Bernie, Steyer, and to a lesser degree, Amy Klobuchar. Losers, Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Andrew Yang sort of in the middle. And that will make you a loser as well. But like I said, he's exceeded expectations up to this point. I don't feel comfortable calling him a loser because he's on stage with seasoned politicians and a billionaire. Wait, what can I say bad about that? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, who, like, you know? All right. So that's all I got for this. Now let's go to the phone lines. 319-527-6212. The Ghana, who should get out of the race? Joe Biden should get out of the race. There's no way that he is going to bounce back far enough in order to take this thing. Oh, and by the way, guys, don't just take it from me. Take it from Joe Biden. His first statement of the night was what? I probably won't do well tonight. I didn't do well in Iowa. We probably won't do well in New Hampshire, but we're going to keep going. That was his opening statement. Now, there was a show called Mad TV with Ari Spears, and there was a segment on there called Lowered Expectations. If you come out to a debate and the first thing you say is, I'm going to suck. I'm going to stink up the place. That's the lowest of expectations imaginable, and that's probably not a good game plan for somebody who actually wants to win. It's definitely not a good game plan or strategy for someone who wants to ask other people for money. All right, so let's go, guys. Thank you for hanging in. My name is Real Tim Black. Become a member of the Wolfpack here or on Patreon, Tim's Take Live, patreon.com, Tim's Take Live, and also text the word cornbread to the code 21000 to become a member of my text VIP list. Oh, and shout out to Irami Osio Frimpong. Irami Osio Frimpong. I interviewed him today. He's better known as the Funky Academic. He is an excellent teacher, professor, historian. He's a philosophy major. He's amazing, and he has great content available on his YouTube channel. I'm shouting him out. We just did a great hour-long video. I'm going to be editing that and putting that out. Once again, Funky Academic, thank you, my brother. It was great talking to you about a myriad of issues, all of them important. I can't wait to put that out. Shout out to the Funky Academic. Go find him on YouTube, and I will give you a date for when that's going to come out. All right, guys. Now, enough of me talking, goodness gracious. Looking forward to this to hear what you guys got to say about tonight's debate. 774, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Black. Hey, Tim. It's Ryan from Massachusetts.
All right, my brother. What's on your mind, my brother?
I'm just going to add, I'm from the New England region. So when we talk about Vermont being rural, so is New Hampshire. It's all rural. It's all forest. So gun legislation has always been light up there. I come from Massachusetts, which has heavier gun laws. So that's why when anyone who's a hunter down here, they go up north. Less gun laws. It's just how it goes. But as far as tonight's performance, the only two that stuck out to me, because I watched it with my mother, was Bernie and Steyer. Everyone else, I'm going to quote my mother, because Biden was that's all I got. It was, I think I heard that 3 times. It sounded like we started trying to get through the first letter. I'm sorry. Warren, I'm not kidding. Warren, I don't remember what she said. I think she had a few maybe decent comments, but she was in the back. It's a whole different situation from the last one. Klobuchar was, I think I'm going to quote Jordan on Twitter where he was like, clop, 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 clop. Nothing of substance. Nothing of substance. The rat, Pete, oh man, I love that he got thrown under the bus. And honestly, I'm just happy to see that. His record then brought up the layup on a debate stage. It's good. It's so good. Yang, I'm just getting tired of the same UBI speech. I had to explain that twice to my mother what UBI was. That was an interesting conversation. I also remember you trying to say, was it MLK you were trying to say it was? I'm just sitting there going, that's not what he meant. That's not what MLK meant. That's not the UBI he was talking about. Yang's freedom dividend ain't that UBI. That's a whole different situation. That was a fun conversation to get with my mother, who still doesn't even know who Amy Klobuchar was. That was her first time actually seeing her, apparently. She was like, I'm like, that's the, and looking at her and Warren, I'm like, that's the epitome of Karen energy. Those are the two women I would see walk into a store and ask for the manager. But anyways, it was a great night for Bernie.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was actually happy to see them bring up his gun history, and he tackled it head on. It was one of my concerns, because I've seen it brought up on Twitter. He brought it up and went right through it.
Yeah.
It was very clean. This was the one good part. Yeah.
Well, look, my brother, again, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, yeah.
All right, Tim.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for the phone call, man. I love it, man. Tell your mom we said hello for the Wolfpack, man. That's what I'm talking about. And like I don't know. I just got a sense that I thought that Amy did a little better than Elizabeth Warren. But you're right. She only had Elizabeth Warren basically checked out. I don't even think I rated her. I almost forgot she was in this thing. Like I just did a wrap up and didn't even include Elizabeth Warren because she was non-existent. She's like wallpaper, like beige wallpaper, beige walls. You ever lived in one of those apartments where they just painted a standard color? You can't change it. If you change it, you gotta change it back. And that's what she was: beige wallpaper, or beige paint, beige carpet. Uninteresting. Not a good night. There was one moment I think they set Pete up for something and they went to her, they went to Elizabeth Warren and they were like, do you think Pete's answer was sufficient? And the highlight of Elizabeth Warren's night was saying, no. No, it wasn't. You have to do better. You have to, and that was it. That was her big moment, was saying no. I'm going to the next call, man. Thank you for the phone call, my brother. 978. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello, Tim. It's Rebecca Lane calling. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling all right, man. Got a fatty. My paper finally stuck together, so it's going well. Anyway, I had a couple of thoughts about, well, first of all, I wanted to say that I had a lot of dejected and depressed and sad and horrible low moments from like Tuesday on. And your show Tuesday, I want to thank you so much for that. It really had me in tears. I felt energized. I felt hopeful. You really should be a Bernie surrogate, like a for real one. I know you got the show to do, but damn, man, like you really, I think you uplifted us all. So thank you. Also, I wanted to say that, oh crap, I'm high, so there's a few things. I'm so sorry. Well, whatever. Turns out that, oh, that's what it was. I watched this sermon. Oh my goodness, I watched this man, Reverend Dr. William Barber, the second, and he ripped into the Black Caucus, the Congressional Black Caucus. Boy, he ripped into their asses, but in a good way, like a positive, mostly way, and just gave this wonderful. I shared the video on your page, or in your group, and he just said some wonderful things. And one of the things I wrote it down that I think kind of relates to people in the Bernie groups and in our chats and stuff like that, when they get down and they're feeling like, ugh, it's never going to win and stuff like that. Like, it's stacked against us. Ugh. Well, this is what William Barber said. He said, if you speak defeat and you live in defeat and talking the wrong narrative, then in fact that defeat will be yours. Sorry, usually I'm a better reader. And I just thought that was something really positive that people could hang on to. And go watch the video. You will feel so much better. He told the Congressional Black Caucus to get their shit together and to be about it and to stop. He's talking about titles and entitlements and oh my goodness. So you'll enjoy that. Anyway, that's all I had. And thank you for the show. You do a great job as always.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you, sis. Wow, yeah, I'll check that out. Reverend Barber definitely knows how to deliver a message, definitely, and I appreciate the kudos as well about the video I did, the Pick Me Up video. I felt that people needed to hear it about Iowa, and we will continue to inspire people because we got to get this done, people. 501, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, it's Sean from Arkansas.
There he is. What's up, man?
Hey, first, as always, thank you for what you do. Enjoy the shows you put out, as always. And also, I want to say, I think I feel a little more like family since the last time you and I spoke. And that I appreciate the fact that we can disagree and still have respect, which I think is a rare thing in this political climate today.
Yeah.
And you'll also be pleased to know I'm not calling to beat any dead horse. I just want to say that as far as who should be out of this, I'll be the first Tulsi supporter to say, Tulsi doesn't have a chance in hell at this point, and so she's been closed out. I think it's time for Mr. Biden to step down. I don't know if I ever felt like I got any sincere vibe out of his run anyway. I almost feel like it maybe they knew that whole Ukraine thing was going to happen, and so they felt like he was politically, he's better off to poise himself as an opponent of Trump to try to I don't know. Who knows? But I never felt like he was sincere in his run, so I'd be glad to see him go. Let's get it down to Bernie and Buttigieg and let them battle it out. I think that would be a pretty good finish. I think I for one, maybe I'm just too close to it, man, but I'm ready to see it come on down to, let's pick our candidate so we can start that rally and see what we got for Trump. Because I think this inner stuff, the inner battles that we have to fight at this phase in the process are, I guess, growing old on me. I don't know if other people agree with that or not, but so yeah, I'm ready to see it get down to a couple of core candidates, and maybe we can get some of the base issues all decided upon, and we can all start to feel together, like a party again, which I know is what we need to do. Again, mad respect for the Tim Black Show. Thank you for taking my call, and I will leave it there.
Well, hey, thank you, Sean, man, and I appreciate you still calling in, man. You're resilient as well. Like you don't waver, and that's what you believe, and I respect that. I would never say that Tulsi Gabbard or anybody has to drop out. I think that's probably the worst thing. Like I would never tell an ally that they should drop out because I know the emotional connection people have to their candidates. That's going to be such horrible, karma, bad feelings. But I'm a lot more objective when it comes to candidates I'm less connected to, such as Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Pete Buttigieg. And look, I admit my biases. I believe the country needs to go one way, and those people are not going in that direction at all. So we'll see, my brother. We'll see. I think it's disappointing that it comes down to Pete Buttigieg. I think it's probably better for Bernie than it comes down to Pete and Bernie, as opposed to Bernie and Elizabeth. But, yeah, interesting stuff, man. Thanks for calling up. 559. Can I get some love, 559? You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Brother Tim, Brother Eric up in Minnesota. How you doing?
What's up, man? How are you?
Oh, super fine. Well, Bernie's the front runner, first and foremost. I mean, we saw that after Tuesday. Not only is he just consistent, but he's talking about substantive policy issues. Bread and butter, kitchen table, whatever you want to label it. He's talking about that. He's not worried about throwing haymakers, a.k.a. Tulsi. Oh, yeah, who's she going to get next? Who's she going to – what the fuck's she all about? I mean, let's just be real, and I pardon my French. And, Andrew Yang, I'll spare the colorful commentary and just say you're just very disappointing. And Yang supporters, I think on some level you know this to be true. Because here's the thing. Here's the problem I have with him is just lack of creativity. And I want to give him some creativity right now. See, he's supposedly a businessman, right? Supposedly, entrepreneur. Yeah, let's everybody be an entrepreneur, and that's fine. Well, see, here's the thing about insurance with Medicare for All, or maybe your own policy. Maybe what you should have done is call it maybe the big group policy. Because as you know, if you have a business, if you have a group insurance policy, no pre-existing conditions, everybody gets covered. So it's like if you work for a company. That's why people want to work for companies so they can have insurance. There's no pre-existing conditions because it gets spread over a pool. Maybe have that. I came up with that when Obama was coming up with the Affordable Care Act. I remember telling people about that, saying, no, you got to look at it as a big group policy. Why not? Where's Andrew? Read somebody, take some time, get some creativity. But I think it's going to come down to Bernie and Bloomberg. Bloomberg is the one that's in this race. He's self-funded. They're changing the rules for him because Biden's done, Elizabeth's done, all these other guys are done. They're trying to get enough. I mean, all the appointed people. Notice who was appointed. Biden fell. Harris fell. All these guys fall. And let's go Peter the Cheater. Same thing. Tried to prop him up. He's going to fall too because, look what happened. Max Blumenthal, everybody, if you haven't already seen it, has some very good reporting on what the hell happened on caucus night and what the deal is. And that's just kind of explains itself. So I think that's who it's going to come down to. They're going to try to get enough people away from Bernie so then they could, have him not get a plurality of the vote come the primary or come the convention time. So then insert Bloomberg because, hey, you see all his ads. They got all sorts of ad buys. Mike will get it done, and they're going to try to have him because, despite the irony with Bernie, even though he votes 98% of the time with the Democrats, he has them crapping bricks.
Yeah.
So he just needs to keep doing what he's doing. We need to keep doing what we're doing, because you know what? It's working. You can tell it's working because of what happened with the caucus. Huge issue. You know for a fact it was fixed, and you know for a fact there was shenanigans, because they would have totally spewed all sorts of results, but they got caught. Yeah, that's what Bernie was doing when nobody was looking. Hey, children, this isn't his first rodeo. So I'll leave it at that. Let's just keep it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it, man. And some people say, Tim, man, I see how happy you are. Look, man, it's because there were so many people doubting Bernie Sanders' campaign, saying that they're not being offensive, they're not being aggressive. And meanwhile, they had the checks and balances in place in order to hold the DNC accountable. And these same people that were saying Bernie and his whole campaign was sleep at the wheel had to eat their words, but instead of people holding them accountable, you guys let them off the hook. How you going to say a campaign sucks, everybody's stupid, bunch of cowards, and then when they do the thing that saves it, you act like it's nothing? It's something. It's a big deal. For them to have an app where they're tracking the results themselves, that's huge. That's huge. I say give respect where it's due. But hey, that's just, who am I, man? Who am I? Just a guy talks loud on the internet. 470, you're live, Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's up, Tim? How are you doing tonight?
What's up, D? How you doing, man?
You sound like you might be a little bit sick tonight. I heard some sneezes and stuff going on in the background.
Yeah, I'm all good now, brother. How are you?
I'm okay. Look, I didn't even watch the debate. I feel like that it's just, I already know who these people are. I think the debates now are starting to just be for the people that don't pay attention very much.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you taking my call. Look, I just wanted to say, I think Warren and Biden are on the way out. I mean, if you look at the polls, you could see Amy and Pete have been gaining support a little bit. Pete more of all, but I mean, Warren just had a bunch of black women or something storm out of her campaign in frustration.
Yes, you did.
Already been losing. Look, nothing personal to either of them. I mean, they just clearly are tanking.
Mm-hmm.
Biden was the front runner, and he's got two people in South Carolina catching him. So I think they're on their way out. I don't know if they're going to drop out, but I think the race is between Bernie and Pete and Klobuchar. I think they'll hang in there as long as possible. But I just want to say I think it's going to come down to who is humble and wise enough to ally up. The reason that Klobuchar and Pete are gaining steam is because, I think a lot of the Warren and Biden support is coalescing under them. As those two lose, the other two rise. And so that's what made me think of this. I really think that it's going to come who is humble and intelligent enough to push their ideas beyond just their campaign. As far as Yang is concerned, I've never even heard anybody talk about UBI except for Tulsi and Sanders. And Sanders was talking about democracy dollars back in the 80s, So I think if you're really looking for someone to carry on the torch of UBI on a bigger platform, I think Gabbard and Sanders are the only other people. So I think it's just naturally they coalesce together. And if you're anti-war like Gabbard, and I appreciate the guy saying, hey, I love Tulsi, but her campaign's not going anywhere, it's not. And, I feel bad for her because I know she cares, but if you're looking for someone that's anti-war, Sanders, he's voted no on all of Trump's military budgets. He had a no vote on one. I think he was busy, but he didn't support any of them. So I think your support for anti-war naturally coalesces under Bernie. So I think it's going to boil down to who has the humility to alliance up and really tackle the system itself. And I just want to say this before I go. The reason Trump got his Space Force passed, the reason Trump got his wall passed, the reason Trump has pretty much gotten everything that he wants passed, despite the Democrats saying they oppose him, which I don't see any evidence for, is because he's got 50 million people behind him, a movement behind him. It's the movement in the wrong direction.
Right.
I mean, he's given us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% of what increases, while he gives the rich huge sums of money. But the only person on the left who has a movement like that is Bernie. And I mean, Tim, there are 10,000 people running on Bernie Sanders' platform all over the country. And not only does he have this army on the ground and all these people running for office, he has people already in power, like Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar and AOC and Keith Ellison. He is a political juggernaut. And I think it's really going to come down to who has the humility to look at their campaign and say, you know what are we really fighting for? Are we just fighting for a losing campaign, or do we really believe in these ideas and we need to move to another candidate who closely supports our ideas? So I think that's it. I mean, you need someone with a movement behind them. I mean, I love Dave Chappelle, and he's got a strong voice, but he's not in Congress, you know? So people think about, look, I love you Yangers, I love you Gabbard supporters. Man, you guys fought like hell. But I think the way we do this is to challenge the establishment itself, regardless if they agree with our ideas or not, the same way Trump has done.
Yep.
And I love you, Tim, and I appreciate your pump-up video the other day. I love you, Wolfpack. We'll see y'all.
Thank you, brother. And thank you for letting me know, man. People tell me, someone else told me, Tim, when you go to break or commercial, the people on the phone can still hear everything, but the people on YouTube and Periscope and Facebook can't hear it. I mute everything, and you guys still hear it, so I'm in here like trying to clear my sinuses and shit. So I apologize, man. I got to go upstairs, go to the bathroom and to do that. Goodness gracious. So I got sinus issues, and I got 3 kids and go to public schools. It's ridiculous, man, but thank you so much for everything, Dave. And I just want to say, maybe it's time Bernie start offering some cabinet positions. Yeah, maybe Bernie needs to start offering some cabinet positions. Like, I'm not opposed to that at all. I think it's time to cut a deal. Cut a deal with Tulsi Gabbard. Cut a deal with Andrew Yang. Cut a deal with Elizabeth Warren. Let's get this thing wrapped up, man. Let's seal the deal, man. Come on, man. Tulsi Gabbard's got another 30 years, 35 years in the tank she can put out, man. Same thing with Andrew Yang. These people are young. They got their whole lives ahead of them. Let's give them a job. Let's give them a job in an administration that they know is on the right side of history. Let's do that, and now we'll be able to coalesce the entire progressive community. What about that? How's that sound, Yang Gang? Let's do that. Let's do that. I mean, where's Tulsi? Look, Tulsi, Elizabeth Warren, hell, to a lesser degree, Tom Steyer. Hell, man, we need people, right? We need good people. It's better than the Donald Trump's freaking swamp things he's got in his administration. There's some real people in there. Let's do it. That's what I'm saying, man. That makes sense to you guys? I hope it does. Because maybe you need to offer people something. They put a lot out. People cut their lives off. Look, I was listening. John Delaney camped out in Iowa for 2 years. Now, John Delaney does not have the politics that I would want in an administration. But I'm just noting that because the amount of time someone has taken out of their life to do this thing, and we got to respect that. Let's honor the amount of time that people put in. Now, I know some people like hey, I don't know what they were thinking about, but I'm talking about, but there are some good people who put in a lot of time and energy, put their lives on hold. So I think those people definitely should be under consideration, and there should be some offers forthcoming. Just a thought. I think that's the time what we need to start thinking about, Dave. 352, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim.
Hey.
It's Mitchell from Florida.
All right.
The gecko guy. We had our gecko bowl. It was pretty fun. I talked to some people about Bernie. I wanted to talk about the 2 frontrunners tonight. First, Bernie Sanders. I think he had a great debate. But there's something that bothers me about him not answering Amy Klobuchar every single time. When she says Bernie's going to kick everybody off their health insurance. He needs to come back and say, no, we're going to guarantee every single American has health insurance. They're going to have good health insurance. And your plan would allow 30,000 to 45,000 people every year to continue to die because they're uninsured, underinsured, unemployed, underemployed, or homeless. He needs to come out swinging with that. He never does. I still think he had a good night, though. And the second point is Pete Buttigieg. I had a friend who texted me saying, oh, aren't you excited? You know, it's historic. A gay guy might have won Iowa. And I get so irritated because I'm gay, so she just automatically assumes I should be happy. And I get upset because what does being gay do for me? You know, like I want to see representation, but does being gay get my family health care? Does it put a roof over the head of the homeless people in my community? Does it get us a planet that will be habitable in 50 years? Because if being gay does that, then apparently I'm not sucking enough dick because I don't have that yet. So I don't know. It just upsets me a little bit when people just assume that I should be liking the gay guy. Like, I almost called him a character. But and yeah, you know, maybe I should run for president because I think I'm a better judge of booty than Buttigieg. Just saying. But thanks for taking my call, Tim, and go Geckos.
Go Mitchell, man. Go Mitchell. God, man. I tell you, and I'll tell you this, like, it's okay if you support Mayor Pete. I just won't support him unless he supports these issues that will affect my family in a positive direction and my community and the people that live next door to me, people across the street from me, people in my state or people who don't live in my state, people I may never meet. Like, it matters to me that the policies be right. You know, some things I don't even need to benefit from. Just knowing that it's benefiting the people that I care about, that matters to me. So, like, it's like I won't begrudge folks who say, you know, who are gay folks who say, hey, man, this is important to us. Neither will I begrudge Asians who feel the same way about Andrew Yang. That's human nature. It's not your fault. This country's so jacked up, so polarized on these issues. We can't pretend all of a sudden that we don't have these problems in our communities where we're cordoned off. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what's the history of this country has produced us to be this way. I don't fault people. I don't fault black people who voted for Obama. I'm one of those people. And it's not my fault that that's the way I saw the country. It's not my fault that that was the first black president and 40 out of 45 people, even though we've been here since the country was started. Like, it's not my fault that they were like, black people are like, we get a black president. But the thing is, I could understand other people not voting for him unless he touched their lives or his policies were going to, you know, touch your lives. And that's the way I look at it. I would fight for anybody regardless of who they are if I think they're going to make lives better for the people I care about. That's just how I feel. So, but thank you, Mitchell, for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. 315. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey. Something happened.
How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, man? What's going on?
Pretty good. So I want to touch on the giving deals out. So I could see an Andrew Yang heading the Small Business Bureau. He could go into the small business. I could see Elizabeth Warren. She can get into the education. I could see Tom Steyer. He could head the EPA because he's heavily against the whole carbon emissions and everything like that. But I want to sit there and talk about, I think Tom Steyer ended Joe Biden's presidential run when he called out one of his staffers for being a racist.
Yeah.
And Joe Biden really just could not answer the question.
Hold on. What's your name, brother? Joe, I did not hear about the story, so when he mentioned it, brother, I didn't know exactly what it was pertaining to, and then Bernie kind of helped Biden by kind of changing the subject, but Steyer went back to it, so I need to look into further about that story, because I think you got a good point there. It's something I need to make a separate video on.
Yeah, I didn't look into it either because it was like dead smack in the middle of the debate. So I was sitting there watching the debate, but he Joe Biden, I believe he apologized. I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
Like your base support is black people, and you can't sit there and. I mean, he should have fired the guy live on television. That would have been. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was the end of his run.
Yeah, maybe it should be. I don't know, but we will definitely cover it. Yeah.
I think he's going to plummet in South Carolina, and I think he's totally screwed.
Wow. Wow. Good point, Joe. Glad you for bringing it up, man. I appreciate that, and that's something for reminding me because it was kind of weird. And you're right, it did hit hard, and Tom did not get off of it, and yeah. But see, doesn't it like it plays into the whole Joe Biden demeanor, doesn't it? I mean, he's the same guy that when you question him, the first thing he does is tell you go vote for someone else. Like he not you want to question me? You need to go vote for Bernie or go vote for Elizabeth or whoever or stay home. I don't care. But I'm who I am and that's the way it is. And first things first, you can just get it the hell out of my face. And second things second, you need to come on, man. Oh come on, man, give me a break, man. Oh come on, you want to do some push-ups? I mean that's his style. So even in this case, he likes to cloak himself in the armor of black people like me. But obviously you don't like him that much, Johnson. You don't like him that much in return because when you got a staff member being, horrifically racist, according to Tom Steyer, you got a lot of talking to do. You won't just say, hey, I'm going to get rid of this guy. Anyway, thank you for the comment, Joe. I appreciate you, man. 419, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's going on, Mr. Black? How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm Big Rush that be in the chat room from time to time when I have time. You kind of stole my thunder with the cabinet positions about basically coming together under the Bernie Sanders campaign. But I'm just gonna really say what I said in the chat room. I know everybody has an opinion about the debate. I think Bernie did a great job. I thought he could have hit Pete a little harder, but hey, I think he did great overall. He's on his way. Only thing I really want to say is this. Listen, if we get out as Bernie supporters and just talk to one new person a day about Bernie Sanders and his policies, that will go a long way. We see what kind of fight we in by the results of Iowa. So what's important in this situation is that we keep talking to new people that's willing to sit there and listen, and you'll know them. You get people's vibe about demeanor when you run up into them and you talk to them. Just talk to them about Bernie because we got to get people out here to these polls to vote for Bernie Sanders. We got to run these numbers up. We see now anything close is going to be a problem for Bernie. It has to be a blowout in every state to get him to the general election, and it's got to be the same thing all over again. Once we get there, we have to keep talking about his policies. It's nice that we can talk to each other as Bernie supporters, but we already on board. It's time to bring new people. Talk to one person a day, new person, family, friends, and even people you see out in the street. We can't have people thinking that Biden is a good person. We can't have people thinking that Buttigieg is a good person.
Right.
We got to just tell them what it is. We ain't got to be overbearing about it, because there's some Bernie supporters that's annoying that I run into and I don't really talk to like that. We ain't got to be annoying about it. So we just have to really just talk with sense to people and really show them his policies. Hey, go on Google and type this in so you can see what Bernie is really about. And the last thing I want to say is this. Tom Steyer, I don't know if he got a black mistress in South Carolina or not, but he was riding hard for black people tonight. He went all Samuel Jackson on that stage for a hot second. And I was loving it. People can call it pandering, but hey, at the end of the day, we all pandering to something. They trying to get votes. You know that. But you got to be able to differentiate. You got to be able to separate what you see as pandering and what you see as somebody that's being sincere. I don't know which one he is, but I liked what he had to say tonight. But go Bernie Sanders, and all the Sanders supporters. Hey, y'all have a great night tonight.
Good points, my friend, and you're absolutely right, brother, that we need to talk to friends. And that's the reason why some people like, sometimes people are like, Tim, why do you do these videos that always aren't so political or whatever? Like, first of all, I've got a wide range of issues that I'm interested in. But second of all, I want to be able to talk to people who are a little bit like not in the echo chamber. And that's how you get them. You talk about other things you got common ground on, and then, then maybe they'll come through it. Check out a political video or two. So there's more to life than just politics. And like, so if you're washing your car, as my friend is pointing out, or whatever you're doing, you're in the grocery store, or just whatever, as long as you're not overbearing, you're not beating people over the head, you're not being high on your horse or whatever, looking down on people. But if you're just having a regular conversation and you're sharing a moment with somebody, there's no reason why you can't share information that could benefit them and help us get the right person in that White House. So I appreciate it. On your Tom Steyer comments, I agree with you as well. Like, I don't know everything about Tom Steyer, and I'm not going to suggest that I do. But it's felt good to hear him say some things that need to be said. And he did a good job of that tonight. 661, you're live for the Friday. What's your name? What's your comment, 661?
Hello, it's Trudy.
Hey,
Thanks for taking my call, Tim.
Sure.
Trudy.
Oh, Fruity. Fruity. What's on your mind, Fruity?
Okay, whatever. Well, first off, I want to say I think we had 3 winners and 3 losers tonight.
Talk to me.
And the winners was Bernie, Steyer, and Klobuchar.
That's what I said. That's how I felt. Okay. Why you think Klobuchar did well?
Great.
What you think she did that was well done?
I don't remember. I'm sorry. I'm high. I don't remember. But I just know I thought she did a good job. But what I really want to say, Tim, is I'm having a fucking panic. Excuse my French. I'm having a panic attack.
Oh,
I went to ABC News to see if they did any polls on the debate tonight, and their 2020 election news live updates page. If you scroll down to the primaries and caucus calendar, you get the first line is results. And the people on this line are Biden, Sanders, Warren, Bloomberg, and others. and the super delegate count for Biden is 70, Bernie 21, Warren 20, Bloomberg 14, and others 27. Super delegate count.
Got you. So you said they already lined up behind Biden?
Yeah, 70 for Biden, 21 for Sanders.
Yeah, I agree. That's horrible. That's what they do.
They don't even get to vote in the first round. ABC is not even supposed to. I mean, and besides, I guess if this is true, we can just forget about Biden dropping out. And I suppose all the others are assumed they'll drop out because it's just Biden, Sanders, Warren, and Bloomberg. Mm-hmm. And then others.
Wow. All right, sister.
I'm about to come out of my skin. It makes me so mad. I want to go to ABC headquarters and give them a piece of my mind. And I want to go to the superdelegates and tell them shut the fuck up. Pardon my French. I'm so sorry, Tim.
Wow. We got a long road ahead of us, and a lot can happen, and I think that Joe Biden's going to go down. That's what I believe. So those superdelegates going to have to realign.
I've been thinking so. I've really been believing so, and I guess the superdelegates can always realign. But anyway.
Yeah, he's doing bad, man. He's not doing good. He's not doing good at all. I mean, if he doesn't have a 1 or 2 showing in New Hampshire, it's pretty much a wrap. Yeah.
Well, then I guess they'll give his superdelegates to Bloomberg.
I don't know about that. Wow.
I couldn't believe it after all the stink we raised about them publishing superdelegate numbers, and then the DNC made this big deal about getting the superdelegates off of the, and now this. Again,
Okay, sister. Well, look, thank you for the phone
Well,
call. We'll keep our eye on it, but it's really early. Um, I don't know what those numbers are coming from or what's going on with that. I know that Joe Biden has been trying to court a lot of different, folks, but the bottom line is this is not 2016. It's not just Bernie and Hillary, and Biden's about to be a dumpster fire, and I don't know how they're going to win. I don't think they can be. I don't think they can fabricate this for Joe Biden at this point. Not as bad as he's doing. You can make the argument that Hillary was doing well. You can't make the argument about Joe Biden. We'll see. Like after New Hampshire, we'll take it one state at a time. But after New Hampshire, I'm like, and he's not slated to do so well in Nevada either. God, that would be three goose eggs, and then trying to do well in South Carolina, and people watching you not do well in the three preceding states. I don't know. People want to get reelected now. It was one thing when Bernie was unknown to most parts of the country. It's a whole other thing when the guy has more people know Bernie than they know Biden. I was looking at a national stat that Bernie was even more well known than Biden. Like this is a different time. They're not going to be able to just push Biden. They're not going to be able to do it like they did last time. That's what I believe. But we'll keep them honest and we'll keep on covering it. So thank you for the phone call. Either Trudy or Fruity. I forget which one you said it was, but you got a lot of spunk, sister. I appreciate you. 661. Am my 661 number still here? Like 661 left. 410. Here we go. 410, you're live Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
What's up, Tim? What's going on with you, Slim?
Man, I'm good, fam.
This is Brian.
Brian. What's on your mind, Brian?
Yeah, what's up? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, look, man. Bernie won the debate straight up. Ain't no 2-3 ways about it. You know what I mean? Like, he won it. Amy Klobuchar, she is dumpster juice. Like, she's done. You know what I mean? Like, bro, she pretends like she's progressive, knowing that moderation just comes out of her pores, bro. Like, she is fake as hell, and she always attacks Bernie, bro. That's what I don't understand, and Bernie don't say nothing back to her. Now, maybe it's because of what happened in 2016. He don't want that fire from the woman. He attacked Amy Klobuchar. Maybe I think Bernie's being a little bit more cautious this time around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that part has something to do with it. But Joe Biden, man, this dude is a straight clown. I do understand why, but I really don't understand why. A lot of these older black cats, these older black people, basically like support him, man, because like for real, man, I'm just gonna keep it funky. I think they brainwashed, man. For real. I think they brainwashed. They associate him with Obama. Yeah. They really don't know the reason why Obama picked him in the first place. You know what I mean? They think Obama picked him because he loves black people and all this and that. Like, get the hell out of here. No. It was a strategy behind that. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So Biden, man, he's a clown, and Tom Steyer went at him, and you know what I mean? His defense was, well, I got more black votes than anybody. See what I'm saying? Like, he takes advantage of us. He don't give a damn. He's not gonna change nothing at all. You know what I mean? Yes. And Elizabeth Warren, she's a straight up snake, man. For real. I don't want her a part of Bernie's cabinet at all. Wow. For real, bro. How in the hell you gonna sit there and look at Amy Klobuchar and tell everybody that Elizabeth Warren and Amy Klobuchar is the only two people that don't have PAC money when the king of not having PAC money is right there? Like, come on, man. Like, where they do that at? For real? You still trying to low blow Bernie? Yep. You know what I mean? I don't want her a part of the cabinet. For real, I don't even want her supporters. I mean, it'll be nice to have them, but forget her, man. Like, for real, I have a lot more to say about her, but forget her. You know what I mean? Yang, he's cool, but he's really not going that far. You know what I mean? He might as well team up with us. Steyer looked like he was pandering a little bit. You know what I mean? You can tell if someone's pandering. I think somebody spit that game to him like, hey, you got to say this, you got to say that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that the dude is racist or nothing like that. I think he has a good heart. But when you talk about nothing but black people, you don't mention Latinos or nothing. You know what I mean? That kind of makes me think that you probably pandering a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right,
like you
right.
just talking about black, 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 black.
Right.
Like I like talk about black, but you know what I mean. You got to put other colors in there too. You know what I mean? Because black ain't the only thing in America. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? But I have to say this too, man. Bernie, I love Bernie. I really do. And I'm not voting for anybody else but him on my mother. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But this friend shit that he has going on with Joe Biden, bro, is really starting to piss me off. For real. Joe Biden don't give a damn about Bernie. He don't care at all. He's trying to chop your head off. Leave him alone. For real. You know what I mean? You cannot go in a boxing ring being friendly with your opponent, bro. Y'all in a boxing ring right now. He's trying to knock you out. Stop with this friend crap. Like, for real, I'm tired of it. And one of the moderators asked him something about Nina Turner and about what she said about Biden, his racial issues or whatever like that. And Bernie kind of like, you know what I mean, swept it under the rug a little bit. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, why would you do that? For real, bro, this Nina we talking about, bro. You know what I mean? Dog, she fights for you. And that shit really pissed me off, man. Like, but I think he's doing it because I think it's a plan with Bernie. I think this is all like a master plan with him. He's trying to make sure all the ducks are in a row so he can have the greatest chance of winning. And once he gets in the White House, he's gonna turn everything and slam it on his chin. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna shake things up. But for real, man, like stop with this, man. I hate it, man. For real. You don't have to attack him, like go full-fledged on him. But stop with this. He's my friend. We heard it already. Stop it, man. For real, man. But other than that, man, love your show, bro.
Thank
I
you.
watched you for a while. From Merlin, just like you.
That's
You
what's
know what I
up.
mean? Merlin,
Yeah.
stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Take care of yourself, Holmes.
And you got it, man. Thank you for the phone call, man. I'm gonna tell you something, brother. I understand your sentiments, man. I understand where you're coming from, total, man. Like I feel you, fam. Like with some marble sauce or some chicken wings, like feel you, like really, you know what I mean? But yo, here's the deal, right? It's open season on Joe Biden. It really is. But here's the thing. If Bernie goes in on Biden too early, and it's still a little too early to go all the way there, his supporters won't support Bernie. There's a psychology to this. So you would think like if he crushes Biden, then all the Biden people will just come join Bernie. That's not what's going to happen. They will go vote for Buttigieg just to spite Bernie, or Klobuchar just to spite Bernie, or Elizabeth Warren just to spite Bernie. Particularly in states like New Hampshire and Iowa. Okay, because they want civility, they want everybody to be nice. Then this not like what we are used to, like in Maryland. I sound like you a little. I hear a little PG County in you, and a little bit in your slang. So you understand what I'm saying? They're not used to it. So that would not serve him well. And I agree. Like I heard him with Nina Turner, but Nina Turner's article already did damage on Biden. For him to double down or triple down on it would not help. And I think Nina knows it wouldn't help for him to do that at that point. And there will come a time, I think, where Bernie will have to run the sword all the way through Biden. It will have to happen. But I don't know if it's time to happen just yet. Look, Bernie came in first. Biden came in fourth. There it is. Like, we can, you know what I'm saying? We can keep having this conversation, but at the end of the day, who came in first, who came in fourth? So we'll see what New Hampshire holds. and that kind of dictates, I think, of how aggressive. Because remember, every time you make an aggressive move, there's going to be a price to pay for an aggressive move. There's going to be some type of cause and effect to your actions. So if you're already beating Biden, right, how much do you want to risk? And if you got black folks coming at Biden, writing articles about Biden that are penetrating, and Tom Steyer hit him pretty well tonight as well, that's going to resonate more with the black folks in South Carolina than will Bernie calling out Biden. But I feel you. There's a lot going on. But believe me, this whole we're friends stuff, they all trying to get the same job. And that only goes so far. And when it comes down to it, I believe that Bernie will do what needs to be done. I just think it's still really early. But I'm with you, though. I understand how you can feel the way you feel. I totally get that. I feel that. That's real. All right, we'll go to the next call. Thank you guys for being patient. My homie was on the phone. 111, we're live Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment? 11111. Okay, 1111111. That's all ones. There you go.
Is that me?
That's you, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing a little better than you, I think. But
yeah, man.
I'm not. Yeah, it's a tough night. It's a tough week. It's a good week, though. Bernie's going to do fine. Let's talk about Nancy Pelosi. I wanted to say she's the Aunt Clara of politics, and we should be done with her. Pete Buttigieg, I'd like to hear him. Why is it that he is for Medicare for all who want it, but he's not for maybe canceling student debt for all who want that canceled? He's not for living wages for all who want living wages. He's not for, and I'll let you do the rest of the list. I'm not doing well, and I know you're not. We'll just get this going. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. No, I'm okay, man. It's like I ran out of my sinus medicine, so I'm a little, But hey, the show goes on, man. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I'll go on break, and next time I'll clear the room. Yeah, it's nothing really serious, so we're good. 240. I got a 240 number in the house. 240, you're live Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
All right. Hey, Tim.
Hey.
Yeah, I was watching the. It's Nestor here. I was actually watching the whole tonight, and it was kind of cringe-worthy because you just have attack after attack. You have it from the moderators, and it's tough to watch. So and what I have to say, you're right about Biden. It looks like he's ready to go. He looks like he's about to drop out any moment, and it's probably going to end up with Bernie and Buttigieg for the final rounds, and Bernie really does need to give out cabinets to get more allies, get more support, get more of the momentum going. And actually, I think I forgot it was maybe 2 Sundays ago. I called on George Galloway's show. And I told George, mark my words, that if Bernie wins this primary in the presidential debate, you're going to see CNN, you're going to see MSNBC, ABC, all these guys, all these moderators, they're still going to attack Bernie. They're going to be taking the side of Trump because, see, Bernie represents a fundamental danger to the establishment, to the military complex, because like you see, all the other candidates, they talk about, they don't say anything negative about what's going on, overseas. The foreign policy of the United States is all just war, war, war. This is how we make our economy grow. This is how we make our money. And I believe that Bernie, once he represents that threat, that once he gets into power, he becomes the president, he gets the briefs on the agenda, on what's really going on, and how United States projects its power. I think he's going to want to put a stop to it. And they know that he's going to want to put a stop to it. They know that he won't be playing ball once he sees the horrors and sees the sheer putrid nature of how the empire expands, just like you saw in the State of the Union. You know what? Never in U.S. history have you ever seen a president call somebody who is a nobody a president. That's not that's insanity. That is danger that Trump and any establishment represents. That if Trump wins or any establishment wins, you're going to see a war. You're going to see wars in Venezuela. You're going to see wars in Iran. They are not going to care. They're going to go all out, man. And I'm telling you, this is a very 2020 is life or death. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for giving me a chance to.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Thank you for the phone call, man. I appreciate it. And you make some good points, too. Yeah, you talk about Guido, right, out of Venezuela. They're propping up as the president. International call, 614. You're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello, Tim Black.
My friend, how are you?
It's me, Alvin.
Alvin, my friend. What's up,
yes,
man?
from Australia.
Yes.
Yeah, long time. Sorry, I've just been busy work and all that. The debate, unfortunately, I did watch it, unfortunately. But I've been trying to see the clips and everything, and I'm hearing Bernie did his best debate yet from Twitter and everything. That's good. I just want to talk about a little bit about the absolute fiasco in Iowa, and it's just out of this world. According to Bernie's own internal polling, seems as if they were saying that he won by probably 5 points or 6 points. Somehow, after the horrendous count that there were so many irregularities that I kept on seeing on Twitter, people kept on pointing out different allocation of votes to different candidates, as in what the Iowa caucus, the Democratic Party was printing out for each precinct was different from what the precinct was printing out. And so with all of that, somehow Pete Buttigieg claims he was the winner without even seeing the results. They now came out with their own 61% reporting saying he was in the lead. So he had 1, 2, up to 3 days of saying he's the winner. Bernie Sanders was leading in New Hampshire was about maybe 11 points. All of a sudden, I'm seeing different polls that they're almost tied. So basically, the bump that we're expecting Bernie to get from Iowa, basically, Pete Buttigieg got the bump with the help of the media and the Democratic Party. The whole thing is just a shit show. Honestly, I'm just disappointed, and it goes back to what I told you earlier, that the media is the problem. Because how come Twitter is calling out errors better than the media that has all the money in the world? It makes no sense at what's going on. And apparently, I was also seeing on Twitter that CNN did a segment talking about Bernie supporters online calling Pete Buttigieg a rat. They spent all that time to do a whole segment about random people online. And yet they didn't have the same energy to focus on Pete Buttigieg's campaign. They need $40,000 to the company, I think Shadow or something. They didn't have that same. I'm barely hearing anyone saying it out in the media. CNN is not saying it. Maybe 1 or 2 segments in somewhere says it, but no one else is saying it. You can see it in some articles online, but no one in the CNN is not saying it. MSNBC is not saying it. So basically, they are not talking about the obvious conflict of interest, even if it's just the appearance of it. Why are they not talking about it? No one's saying anything. So the whole thing is just disheartening. But the good news is that Joe Biden's appearance of being the most electable, that's gone. He's done.
Yes.
And Pete Buttigieg, I honestly don't see how, but I might be corrected, but I don't see how this media bump and anything can carry him and win this thing if he has a path at all. I just don't see it. But again, weirder things have happened, but all in all, I still feel Sanders is in a very strong position, and he's learned a lot of lessons from last election.
Yes.
Thank God. And all I can say is that thank God for Nina Turner and our revolution, because that backbone of that our revolution is what's going to save the whole thing. That's what I believe on. That's my comment. And anyway, shout out to your other caller, Eric. I always like his commentary. He's always concise and so anyway.
90 seconds.
And also, for more broader view, the fires here, they have slowed down. Thank God, we're having some rain in there. It's mostly happening in the rural areas, so at least it has reduced a bit. And only a few people have the coronavirus, but all in all, it's all good. Anyway, take care, Tim. Bye.
Thank you, my brother Alvin. Good to hear from you as always, my friend.
60 seconds.
9:07, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
It's me, honey.
Hey, Laura, how you doing?
Hello?
Talk to me, Laura. What's going on?
I'm doing all right. Well, I got really super tired because after the Iowa debacle, I'm going to try and make this kind of quick because it's a little complicated. I'm a chess player. DNC, Tom Perez, appointed to his different chair, to the voting and the rules committee, people who literally are associated to the billionaire, what's his name, Bloomberg. Okay, this is how
10 seconds.
Based upon what happened in 16. Clinton made that cackle. Remember I told you, she said, watch what's going to happen soon? Well, that was Bloomberg in play. What happened with Shadow, if you look at the paperwork on it, what happened with Shadow is not only did Buttigieg pay into it, but Biden only paid into it for a legitimate reason, believe it or not, was just for text messaging. But if you look closely at what Buttigieg did, he paid for the software rights. Now, just like in our voting machines, the software is proprietarily protected, and not even the Congress can make them open it up. We learned that in the 18 midterms when Kansas got cheated, and their machines failed. If anybody wants to follow anybody, go follow Greg Palast. He is one of the greatest reporters on election fraud, cross-check, etc. Chris Kobach is in Kansas, and he was the one that screwed that up there. What happened in Iowa? By allowing Pete going in. Now, he don't have no money. Now, if everybody remembers right, there was an article where Pete Buttigieg met with Pelosi and Schumer behind closed doors on the subject of how to stop Sanders. No one's asked the question, how in the hell they pick out Pete Buttigieg out of nowhere? A nobody, nothing mayor. So he buys up that damn proprietary software because then it can't be touched. Then nobody can look at it, can't go back and do a diagnostic on it. So fine. They think they were going to get away with cheating, but they forgot that Sanders pushed for having everybody in the Iowa caucus being able to have not just a paper trail, but they had an extra component where they had to write down their presidential choice. That was an extra layer of protection plus his own app. They're fine on that, okay? It's not going to change. The Iowa Democratic Party already sealed the deal. Just put that behind us. This is a long run. What they're doing is they're using Buttigieg as a pawn. He is an empty suit. He will do whatever he's going to do just to get an appointment somewhere. This is to make an end run, to not pay attention to what Tom Perez is doing with the DNC's rules and what the committees there. They changed the rules to allow Bloomberg to even get in there and bypass all of the damn scrutiny of Americans to have even a debate. So he's buying his way in. That's fine. It's going to come down to him. It's going to come down to Bloomberg and we the people. Bernie is only good as we are. We must work. Caucus. Pay attention and write down who you voted for. But most importantly, don't go down ballot blue no matter who. From now until the time you have to vote, investigate who are your congressmen, legislatures, representatives, and you vote the progressive line. Get them in there because he's going to need all the help inside that he can get. He can't just rely on the squad. We need to get a shitload in there. That's our job. If we're the army, we're the engine that runs the machine. He's the tip of the spear. We're the ones they're afraid of. Bernie, they've never been afraid of him all his time. Why? Because he didn't have the power of what? The people. Noam Chomsky lays it out perfectly. He's not neither one of the establishments, which are actually one party. They all vote along the same party lines when it comes to war, when it comes to all of the other things that they do. I mean, hell, Pelosi and all of them gave him everything. The wall, the border massacres, the wars, everything. All of that they just gave without a fight. They even gave up DACA when they had him, when they shut down the government. They let go of the DACA kids. So these people are all the same animal, just different pieces of pie. That's all that is. What it is the strength of the people, the awakening of the people. The best you can do to stop stressing yourselves out is turn off the goddamn TV. Quit looking at the manufactured consent of the MSM. They're there to screw with you. They're there to depress you. They're there to freak you out. They're there to push you back, not Sanders back. Sanders been at it 40 years. We're newbies to this. So we got to stay together, shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm. And I've got 3 generations of us going to be voting. Well, we also got a little ram we're wrenching around here for April to go caucus. And we're picking up everybody. And then we're going to send them back out and forth in this little tiny town. And by God, we got it going up in Fairbanks. We got it going up in the biggest town in the state in Anchorage. We're caucusing for him, and we're going to get him over there. That's what every state needs to do. Y'all just get to work. Turn off that TV. Don't listen to bullshit. And also, there's a narrative running around, and has been for a long while, that Bernie bros were violent, we're this, we're that. That's a narrative they're setting up so that when we come out, and they thought, everybody would freak out if they'd cheat. And then they could point a camera and look at all the bad Bernie bros. No. Nobody misbehave. Nobody do jack shit. Don't play into anybody's narrative. Keep on the mark. Keep positive. If you start feeling down, you grab a hold of somebody and you say, hey, man, start now. Get your own little coalition going of pep talkers. But we've got a war to win. This is a class warfare between the billionaires and us. And by God, if we, the proletariat, the 60% and more that live at or below the poverty level, are going to win, we got to work together.
Okay.
And that means don't throw tomatoes at anybody. Don't you talk shit about somebody else's
Okay, Lord, I gotta leave it there, Lord. We gotta go to the next call. You know, I'm watching the callers, and they're dropping off. So we gotta keep it moving. Thank you, Lord, for the phone call. You gotta try to keep it tight, guys, because I got so many people in this queue. It's ridiculous. It's a lot of people lined up. So thank you, Lord, for the phone call, but we got to keep it moving. 319, you're live.
Yo.
Hey, how you doing?
Yo.
Hey,
can you hear me all right?
I hear you, my friend.
Okay. Yeah. I'm from Iowa. Called in last week. New member to the Wolf Pack. So thanks for taking my call, by the way.
Welcome to the pack, man. Thank you.
Yeah, just wanted to give you an update on how the caucuses went. So we had 70 people at the caucuses, and 33 went for Bernie in the first round. Right, and this is in Black Hawk County, where there was a big tweet about the votes getting fucked up or screwed up in Black Hawk County. but we had 33 in the first round, and then I went and talked two Gabbard people into caucusing for Bernie, and that pushed us over to a majority, so we picked up another delegate there. And so we had a really successful night, and I thought it went really well until the IDP kind of just fumbled the ball and pretty much screwed over everybody in Iowa. But I think it's ultimately for the better, because Iowa really needs to be removed as the first state in the nation. I mean, the big problem is that we're not a diverse state. We're not a state that's representative of the country, and a lot of people here use that first in the nation status. You know, they like to go get wined and dined by these candidates like Pete Buttigieg, like Amy Klobuchar. They want to go shake their hand, you know, take selfies with them, look cool, and that's really part of the problem, I think. So I think that ultimately it's going to be good that the Iowa caucuses are going to go away. Wow. And yeah, that's what I called in for. I had a couple other things I was thinking about, but I'm just playing 2K right now, so I kind of lost track of that. But
it's all good, man. Well,
thanks for. So.
Well, thank you, my friend from Iowa, letting us know what's going on in Iowa, man. And thank you for joining the Wolfpack. I appreciate you. 503. 503, you're next. Thank you for calling. What's your name? What is your comment?
Hi, Tim. My name is Tammy. I'll keep it real short. I've just got a few things I wanted to bring up.
Sure.
First, I wanted to thank you because after the whole thing with Iowa, I was already expecting that there was going to be some fuckery that went on. I mean, I was expecting that long ago. I just didn't know how it was going to come about, where it was going to happen. And even though I knew it was going to happen, that it was going to eventually happen, I was still very frustrated, and it was really depressing. And then I watched your video on right after it, and I realized I was letting them steal my cornbread. And so that really pumped me up, and I wanted to thank you about that. That really re-energized me, and it did away with. I'm not saying I'm not still frustrated with the whole thing, because I am.
Right.
But it made me feel better.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. And I wanted to also say, you were talking earlier, or one of the callers mentioned how they get frustrated that Bernie doesn't fight back. I feel, and maybe I'm wrong about this, you can correct me if I am, I feel like Bernie's already getting so much opposition from the DNC and from network media, that if he were to really go in and just slam them for all of the corruption and the nepotism and just everything that's going on, it would just be all that much harder for him. They would really, really make it even more difficult for him than it already is. And that also kind of goes into him going after Klobuchar, when, he just kind of blew off her questions today at the debates. And it's like he's already been labeled a sexist by Elizabeth Warren, the snake that she is. And if he were to go after Amy, after already being labeled as sexist, it would make it even worse. That would be another thing that the cable news could say, oh, see, that's proof right there. He really is sexist. That's proof. And, he doesn't need that crap, So that's a few things I just wanted to say. One more thing. As for the dropouts, or the people that should drop out,
yeah.
Joe Biden, he came in, what was it, fourth? And Amy came in fifth, and it's like, and she's bragging about that, like that's, such a big thing. If it were Bernie and he had came in fourth or fifth, and was refusing to drop out, and Biden knows he's done. I mean, obviously, he said it during the debates. If it were Bernie and he was refusing to drop out, can you imagine the things they would be saying about him, about how he's hurting the party, he's taking away votes. They would just slam him over and over and over and over again, but yet they say nothing about Biden or Amy, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I'm hoping that Bernie wins and he can get in there and do some real substantial change. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. And you're absolutely right. In fact, I said the same thing in a video recently I put out where I said, imagine if it was Bernie the one coming in fourth place. I'd be like, what are you still doing running? This guy is he's so selfish. He came in fourth place. He's still in it. He needs to drop out and give someone else a chance. There's no reason why he's still in it. But Biden could come in fourth place and fine, and Amy could come in fifth, and there's no problem at all. So, but thank you for the phone call, Amy. I lost the caller. Oh, that's why I try to write down the next three calls because people drop off. Okay, so I'm gonna go to 252. 252, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? Hey, how you doing?
Hey, is that me?
That's you, my friend. Yes.
How you doing? This is Kira from Fayetteville.
There she is. Talk to me. What's on your mind, Kira?
I want to speak about two things. First of all, I want to, give Bernie some props because, he was in New Hampshire and he got that bullshit question, oh, you're in New Hampshire and the senators from New Hampshire, they voted for the trade deal. I have to give him so much credit for the consistency. He stood there boldly and said, no, absolutely not. I do not agree. I don't have no problems with them, but I don't agree with their decisions. And then, here comes Klobuchar pandering on the right, and she's all like, oh, well, I do agree, and it's a little bit better. And then Elizabeth Warren is like, oh, well, a little bit better is better than none. I'm so sick of that mentality in politics. I mean, it's just shameful. Every time you think about it, it just makes you mad. Like, they rather just get a little bit done, and then a little bit done, and then a little bit done. And then when you look, it's 10, 15, 20 years later? I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense at all. In the richest country in the world, that we just cannot get things done. We look so crazy to the rest of the world, and it's just so frustrating. But that was the first thing I wanted to say. And the second thing I wanted to talk about is the mainstream media. Oh, man. They just really angered me this week. The View and their whole thing with Pete Buttigieg is the winner, even though they didn't know that he was the winner. It made no sense. The whole narrative being painted is just wrong. And, he has come up, and now he's really right there, neck and neck with Bernie in New Hampshire. And it's just so many falsehoods for how they're trying to steal this election from him. The only thing I wanted to say to, my fellow Wolfpack members is that y'all know y'all just keep being strong, canvas, call, text for Bernie, keep the pressure on them because they are scared, they are shaking in their boots. And, the people that I think should drop out, I'm going to say Joe Biden is not going to drop out. He's going to be in to the end. Anybody saying that he should drop out, that's just a far gone conclusion. He is up in Florida. He's up in, like, a lot of Super Tuesday states. He's not going to drop out. He's not. So I'm going to say Tom Steyer needs to drop out. Amy Klobuchar needs to drop out because she's not about anything at all. And the wild card that nobody seems to be talking about, just because he wasn't at the debates, I'm going to say Michael Bloomberg is going to be the one who ends up going toe-to-toe with Bernie. Not Buttigieg, not Warren. It's going to be Bloomberg. I'm in North Carolina. Every time there is a commercial, every single time, it's Bloomberg. Yep. Every single time. I done seen 5 different commercials in the last week because I've been off this week, and I don't even watch TV. And I'm like, gosh, darn, every time I watch something, this man crossed my TV screen. And it just don't make no sense. And I'm just like, when is somebody going to point out how he violated black civil rights in New York City. Like, I'm from, New York. I live in North Carolina now. That's where my family moved to. But I'm from New York. It was crazy, insane. In 1 week's time, 8 or 9 times you could get pulled over for nothing. For nothing. It made no sense. People getting pulled over sometimes multiple times in the same day. It didn't make any sense the way New York City was being run then, but you want this to mainstream, be all over the country? Blacks have it bad enough. I mean, we have it bad enough being accused of things we didn't do. Always, it's always a new story every single day. Somebody unarmed, not doing a thing wrong, getting killed. I mean, it's just ridiculous, and I just don't understand how anybody, particularly anybody black, could support him. But that's all I had to say. Thank you for your time, Tim.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
sister. I appreciate you, man. And yeah, in fact, there's a video. I got a couple videos on my web channel, on my YouTube channel. You should check out one of them. I talk about Michael Bloomberg, and I use a clip. Oh, actually, I got to make a separate clip for it. One of my recent shows is a story of a Taekwon, a young man who been pulled over 60 times. 60. He said 60 to 70. We're just going to go with the lower side of that. Horrific. It was a Mike Bloomberg surrogate who's been with him for a long time, trying to defend it. It's something else. It was on Ari Melber's show on MSNBC. Ari's show. Ari's pretty cool. I want to go on Ari's show. He seems like he'll have progressives on his show. Okay. 231? 231, you're live, Freedom Friday.
Hello, Tim.
Hey. What's up?
I got to thank you earlier this week. In my moment of weakness, I needed a little bit of tough love. And I turned on YouTube in a fit of depression after Iowa, and there you were, telling me what did I think they were going to try and pull. And by golly, we all need that tough love, and I just had to call and say thank you.
Oh, man. You're welcome, brother. I appreciate you, man.
I mean, sometimes we need, what you think. They just ain't going to give it up.
Yep.
But we get feeling good. We see Bernie doing good. We get feeling good. By golly, it just, you need that. Well, once in a while, we need to remember where we are.
Yeah.
Speaking of where I am, I'm down in Florida, but I'm from up in Michigan.
Okay.
So I'm enjoying a pleasant little break. I'm down here away from the family and the wife. Usually the wife, she's the one that pulls me back to normal, goes, hey, now calm down. But she ain't down here in Florida. All I had was you the other night. Well, what'd you think? What'd you think was going to happen? Huh, Johnson? So I just wanted to say thank you and how much I appreciated that you were on YouTube the other night after all that mess.
Well, thank you.
You have a good night. You stay strong.
You too, man. You stay strong, brother. Shoot, you guys inspire me. I inspire you. It's a circle. It's a circle of life. So thank you, my friend, for calling up. I really appreciate it. 352, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Who is it?
It's you. How you doing? What's up?
I've been talking the whole show, Tim. I'm already worn out. I've been listening to all the phone calls right here. I'm talking to myself with the 2 dogs and the cat. I'm like, guys, you keep me going. And you got the patience of a saint. I'll tell you what, I'm like, okay, all right, you got to go. And there you are. You're like listening like the Saint Pim Black. I mean, put Saint in front of your name. I don't know how you got the pay. I'm like, bro, how's he can't do it much longer. He can't. He can't listen to that. Like, but are you freaking kidding me? How do you do it? I mean, I don't care, like you said, how much money you get every month to listen to that stuff before you kind of like, okay, that's too many beers to drink to get to that. But anyway, so, okay, I give you all the credit in the world for listening to all that. So let me, okay, because I know I don't want to take up the whole night, but I want to talk about, I guess, what the subject is that's going on in the world right now. We got a president. I think in my lifetime, I was born in '64, Tim. I don't know where you were born. That makes me about 55, 56 if I make it another month. And every day is like an extra day to me right now. So, I mean, I'm not predicting tomorrow. But right now, in my 55 years of life, when I grew up, I guess my father was in New Jersey. I think he grew up in Newark. My mother was from Elizabeth, New Jersey, at a time when they hooked up back in I guess I was born in '64. So they must have hooked up about in '61, '62, because I know my father said, I fell in love with your mother. I took her out dancing, and that was it. I knew she was the one for me. And that man made sure she stayed with him for 50 years, and my mother was like a Mona Lisa. I said, Pops, you ain't got enough money to keep this good-looking woman around all your life. My father was a good-looking man, too, but he didn't have the money. My mother was like a freaking Sophia Loren. I said, that my father was singing with freaking. So anyway, now I'm talking about myself and I'm getting off the point. So, but I've seen a lot from those days up to now, and I've watched everything from the time when I was a kid in elementary, and I saw the teacher put on the board at 8 or maybe 10 years old. What were we? 10 and 6th grade. I think you were about 10 years old, and she put on Nixon McGovern. Was it? Was that election Nixon McGovern? And she said, who do you guys want to vote? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Well, you better learn, because these are the people that freaking dictate how you live in life. Well, we take sometimes like this is a ball game, like this is just a football score to keep everybody entertained. That's a real loss, because we got to understand that the changes that this man can make compared to another person, it's not the man. What Bernie makes so clear is that he cannot do this if he just goes in there and tells people this is what I want. That's not going to happen. What Bernie's going to do is he's going to go to cities and rally people and do what he does best, like a Joe Paterno. He's the Joe Paterno of presidents. He can rally a team to friggin' just pump them up. But the thing is, if the team don't follow, Bernie's no good. What Bernie did is really truly amazing. Tim, now let me tell me if I've gone too long, or give me a heads up. What Bernie did that was truly amazing is that he says, I'm not taking big money. Mm-hmm. Everybody laughed at that. You can't be president since Abraham Lincoln if you ain't got money. Are you kidding me? So Bernie comes in and he says, I'm not going to friggin' take the big money, and he lives up to it, and they say you don't stand a chance, and then he finds out 5 million people throw him $20. Are you kidding? The money can't beat the people, and that's what he learned about. Is he selling people anything they don't want? He's selling people what they've always wanted, what he's always wanted, just a decent living. I mean, what are we making gains of people's lives anymore over stupid shit? It's really make sure everybody's got a roof over there, make sure they got food, make sure they got medicine, make sure they got a chance at friggin' doing something constructive with their life through education. It's very few things that it takes to make people friggin' healthy and satisfied.
30 seconds,
and
brother.
We're beating ourselves up.
Right.
All right, babe. So I'll let that go. And TP, I don't know how I did on that one, but I hope I came through clear. The thing is that what's important is that we got a man right now that cares about people and not money as much.
My brother.
Too many people care about money.
They do,
All right,
brother.
bro. I'll let you go.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Great message, man. Thank you. We got so many different types of people calling up, man, from all over the country, man, all over the world, actually, man. It's amazing. You guys inspire the hell out of me. You have no idea. This is thank you. Yeah. 919. What's up, 919? You're live from Friday.
Yeah, is this me right here?
That's you, my friend. Yes.
Oh, hey, how you doing? My name is Freddie. I'm over here from Raleigh, North Carolina. Man, let me tell you, this is my first time calling on the show and everything like that.
Yes.
I called mainly, I I just wanted to get your opinion on stuff. Two things. One, Bernie Sanders. You gotta love the guy for his what's the word I'm looking for? Dedication to, like, his his views and stuff like that and everything, like the Medicare for all, because let me tell you, that guy, he is gonna stand by that like crazy. But let me ask you this. Let's say if he was president and everything like that, I believe that he could get him. He's got the squad, which, in my opinion, I believe AOC has a big impact on the Democratic Party. Do you think that he would be able to get Republican people like Mitch McConnell and all them to even bend a little bit on some of his policies? Not just Medicare for all. I'm just talking about anything. Because, some of them Republican guys are kind of stubborn.
Yeah, is that your question, my friend?
Yeah. It was. I wanted to ask you that. I wanted to get your opinion on that, and then the other one was, what the hell is Mike Bloomberg doing in this race? What is the DNC strategy? Why is he? Because it's not normal for you to spend a whole lot of money knowing that you are getting 0%. I mean, that's not normal. I don't know if DNC is going to do some robbing or what. But yeah, them two things, I just kind of want your opinion on it and everything like that, because they got me clueless. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man. Look, I wrote down your questions, man. I'm going to get to them as we get to the phone calls, because I can answer that without people being on the line, brother. So, Republican question and then Michael Bloomberg question. Good questions. And we'll do our best to answer them. 814, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, this is Rob Sandero. I'd like to say I don't think Pete Buttigieg could run my fucking shit. I mean, people got to get real here.
Okay. All right, Rob. 917, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim. Hey, Tim, it's Victor.
Hey, Victor, what's up, man? Talk to me.
Hey. I'm stuck at home with the flu.
Oh, man. Sorry to hear that, bro.
So I got serious sinus issues, like everybody's talking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But aside from that, one thing that's been burning me up the whole night, despite the fact that Snuffleupagus, the former Clinton advisor, pretty much coached the entire debate to pile on top of Bernie from the get-go, is this Mayo Pete. He likes to tout his military service, but they never really talk about exactly what he did. He was a young guy in the Navy, right? And he was assigned to the Afghan Threat Finance Cell. Now, what is this Afghan Threat Finance Cell? He was also part of the McKinsey Group.
Yeah.
Now, everybody will call me a crazy, whacked-out conspiracy theorist, but what is this Afghan Threat Finance Cell, and how does a young man in the Navy just magically get thrust into an intelligence position? It's a little weird. What did he oversee? What was the narcotics? It's a little shifty. I mean, this government has a history of screwing around with heroin the world over, including in that region.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell you, yeah, go ahead.
It's just, you're not supposed to bring this up. You're not supposed to talk about it. You're just supposed to say, oh, he's in the military. Everybody, oh, yay, military. Like Blow Jiden in the middle of the debate was like, oh, everybody stand up for Vindman. Oh, yeah, woo, military. But you're not supposed to discuss what the military does. I mean, it's not all nice stuff. A lot of it's pretty bad, evil stuff.
What's up?
And I really wish that they would reference this. It seems like he's brought it up in interviews and they kind of like gloss over it and they show him playing with an Afghan kid Like he's got an Afghan girl on his shoulders. It's a nice photo op. There he's got his gun. He looks all militaristic, and you're supposed to be like, oh, wow, yeah. I mean, what exactly did he do? What did he oversee? What was the Afghan threat finance cell?
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. You're supposed to tout his military record. It's supposed to be a point, like a feather in his cap. But he somehow went from from going to school to the military, and then he's a mayor, and then he's running for president. It's just a little, I mean, yay, enterprising young man. Maybe I'm just being jealous, right?
Nah, I don't think so, man. I thank you for the phone call, though. I appreciate it. And I'll just say that, I would like to know more about it. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, I know that she was a medic. Very simple and plain. A medic. That's what she was. I think that people say he's connected to the CIA. Some people say that he worked in intelligence. Some type of data side of it sounds like to me tracking money. I understand that money has a lot to do with weaponry, how they obtain their weapons, the Afghanis. But like you, brother, I don't know exactly what it is. But I always assume it's sort of a black ops type of operation. As opposed to something physical like a medic, like Tulsi Gabbard, who gets no play at all, never got any respect for her role, saving lives, which was always felt was disrespectful as hell. And that's coming from somebody who, who's had my issues with their campaign, but I still, I can call a duck, and I can say that she was not treated fairly. And, yeah. So thank you for the phone call, my brother. I appreciate it. 843, you're live on Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, it's Autumn.
Autumn, how you doing, sis?
Good. Haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah.
I had some major health issues and just kind of dropped out for a bit. But anyway, thank you for watching that damn debate and breaking it down so I didn't have to.
Happy New Year, Autumn.
Yes, Happy New Year. God, I thought 2020 sounded good, round numbers. But man, so far, earthquakes, coronavirus, cheating the first damn caucus,
yep.
Having a fake president brought at the state of the. I mean, it's just getting crazier and crazier. but solidarity, people like you and your shows, and yeah, it keeps the sanity. I did want to say something about Steyer, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I think he's a total panderer. I'm watching his ads down here, and they are just so fake. It's like he goes out and rents black women or something. And if you look at his past, he's supposed to be, the big environment guy, but he made money off coal.
Yep.
He is a big hedge funder, and he had a lot of stock in trying to think, it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
That private prison, that runs and that locks up everybody. So yeah, I think, I don't know what his game is, but I just think, he's really creepy. But down here in South Carolina, name recognition. So it's Biden, Bernie, and he's already third. But I do have a little bit of good news for Bernie bots, because this week they're not going to do a Republican primary in South Carolina this year.
Wow.
The Trumpsters fixed. So the GOP is asking Republican voters across South Carolina to vote because we have an open primary for Bernie Sanders. Their reasoning is they don't think he can win, socialist. And the thing behind that, too, is to make the Democrats mad so that they agree to have closed primaries versus open South Carolina. But I look at it as a damn good opportunity So I've been contacting my Republican friends, and they hate Bernie, and but they hate the DNC more. So yeah, they're going to get out and vote.
Oh God.
Anyway, I thought you'd appreciate the irony.
Thank you for that. That's hilarious.
So anyway, well, I'll let the next callers get on. Great show.
All right. Thank
Good
you,
talking
sis.
to you again. Love
Good
you.
talking to you. You get better, woman. Autumn. No, Autumn for like 5 years. Something crazy number like that, man. Her and her people, man. Call up. She's good people. Good people. Wow. 360. 360. You're live Freedom Friday. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey.
Hey.
Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Hello, Tim. This is Ramona from Washington State.
Well, what's on your mind, Ramona
This is the
from
first
Washington?
time I've ever...
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I have a lot of agreement with you, having to do with Bernie needs to wait out talking too much crap against Biden so we don't alienate his supporters. I also think that the idea that Pete Buttigieg could actually be a viable candidate seems horrific to me, given that he's all about the meritocracy. And we need to remember that the reason we came around to Bernie in 2016 is because he spoke to our feelings of solidarity. I'm 65. I had never voted for anyone in my life until I voted for Bernie Sanders. And then I voted for Jill Stein because I could not see myself voting for someone that was against my interest. I have 3 children and a grandson, and like you, I know I've seen your grandbaby. That's who I care about. And I could sit back as a boomer and go, hey, I got my Medicare, I've got my house paid for, but I'm looking at my children and my grandson's future. That's what matters. So thank you for being there, Tim. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ramona, for your
I hope
phone
to
call.
talk to you again.
You got it, sister. Thank you for calling up.
All right. And just so that you know, Washington State has given up its caucus. We're going to be doing a primary this year.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, Ramona, for the
Okay.
info. I appreciate you, sister. Wow, brother. Wow, sisters. Wow, Johnson. We made it through another one. Another marathon show. Someone was like, Tim is still on? It's like, yeah, Tim's still on. People say, Tim, you should not, man, you go too long. What am I doing, man? I still had the phone lines, and people have been waiting and waiting. So I want to give a big shout out to everybody who called into the show. Let me answer the question. Republicans, will they bend to the will? Well, they're not going to be bending to the will of Bernie Sanders. One thing about politicians is they like to preserve their own lives. They want to preserve their jobs, Johnson. So the way I see it, Bernie Sanders will be using his political capital, is what they call it, where you use your leverage, right? So if Bernie's plans are the type of plans that Republicans like too, only a fool would go against them if it's going to hurt them in their district. So part of the problem we have is a lot of our plans are more focused, are not presented in a way where they're attractive to all people. And that's one of the strengths that Bernie has. So it's not so much that Bernie's going to make a Mitch McConnell or any Republican vote based on just the sheer kindness of their heart, but it'll be more about self-preservation and the fact that they can get primaried by a Republican who will be more middle of the road. Take my state, Maryland, for instance. I have a governor who's a Republican who acts more like a more centrist Democrat than a Republican. And that's the reason why Ben Jealous for the NAACP, who is the uncle or a cousin to Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle came down here and campaigned for Ben Jealous because Dave Chappelle is from Maryland. And guess what? They still couldn't beat Larry Hogan because Larry Hogan, though he's a Republican, he's against He wants to decriminalize marijuana. He's giving out free local college. He's adopting Bernie policies, which inoculated him from the youngest president of the NAACP ever, Ben Jealous, who I supported, even though Dave Chappelle came down here and canvassed for him. So that's the power of your platform being more inclusive, and these Republicans seeing the writing on the wall. The other question was Michael Bloomberg. Why is he running? Hey, dude, Michael Bloomberg's doing well. I put out a video a couple months ago where I said Michael Bloomberg was the biggest threat. People said, Tim, you know what you're talking about. It's Joe Biden. I was like, nah, it's Michael Bloomberg, because Michael Bloomberg has money. And he don't much care how much he spends. He's already spent $220 million, and he's already said he's going to spend double that. He's willing to double that amount. We're talking about $440 million in the primary. This man will spend $1 billion in a primary. Hillary spent $1 billion in a general. He'll spend $1 billion on the primary. Like, so what? Do you know he's worth $60 billion? Every year, that means he makes $2 billion off the interest of his $60 billion. He woke up one day and said, well, if Trump, I hate Trump, and Trump, because they're both from New York, Trump wants to be president. He's president. I can beat that. I can be president too. That's the type of stuff you do. It's sort of like trading places. 2020 edition. All right, guys. Let me go check Super Chats. Let me read out the comments from people who have been watching the show, and let me give them some love. Wow, man. What a night. What a night. What a night, y'all. Maker of Things. My favorite part was when Pete said that woman could have lost her. That woman could have lost her artificial leg. Maker of Things. I just plopped out of the word salad. Word salad Pete. Yeah, word salad Pete. And people are saying he won. That's crazy. What's up, Maker of Things? Thank you. Golly G. Willikers. Bernie slowly turning up the heat. Yes, he was. He was slowly turning up the heat, and the frogs did not know that they were boiling until it was too late, Johnson. Liz went low with that. Everyone on the stage taking money but me and Amy. Yeah, that was garbage. That was garbage, wasn't it? Brian, I didn't hear one mention of Shadow or that there were huge conflicts of interest with Pete spending $40,000 toward the app. Bernie shouldn't fight Biden. That's what I'm saying. Why fight him? He's not a threat. Don't fight him. Let him fight Pete. Let him fight Amy. Bernie if I was Bernie, I would not get into it with those. Let them fight over who's going to be the moderate Democrat. Go do that over there. Do that over there. Thrasher, I agree. Warren conflated PACs and super PACs to argue Bernie might be semi-corrupt like everyone else except, conveniently, her and Amy. Woman power. Look, only what could be one president, so it's going to be amazing to see them go at each other at some point. That's going to happen if Amy doesn't drop out first. Big Russ says, I'm hoping everyone in the room is taking at least talking to one new person every day about Bernie Sanders. We got to fight because we see what we're up against, and you're absolutely right. Thank you for the phone call, man. I agree with you. We should be talking to as many people as possible. One person is a reasonable amount of people to kind of set your goal for. So just not preaching to anybody, but just some casual conversation. David Milford. Biden said Bernie voted against criminalizing gun manufacturers 5 times. Moderators didn't let him rebuttal. Yeah, I don't think that was accurate. The true free thinkers. Did Warren say that she and Amy are the only ones who don't get money from billionaires? Bernie's got a wall of shame for billionaires. Yeah. I think that Bernie just don't want to get into it with Elizabeth Warren or Amy Klobuchar because he's seen the numbers. Like, guys, this is one of the reasons why I'm hesitant to be too critical about things when it comes to the campaign in certain aspects, and because I think they're looking at data. So, like, people don't know. So, for instance, I love Laura when she calls up, but when she goes too long, I see things you don't see. I see the numbers dropping. I see people on my phone lines dropping off the phone lines. I see the number of people who are actually watching the show go down the longer she goes because people do that. And I see people commenting, being very happy. But behind the scenes, I see things you guys don't see. And the people who don't know what I see form all types of opinions based on no information. So being somebody who has all these tools, all this information, I have to make I had to make decisions for the show. So I'd say, Laura, you got to cut it. Laura, you got to cut it. All right, Laura, I got to cut you because you got to cut it. But see, people don't know that I have this data. So I think about the Bernie Sanders campaign sort of in the same way. They have a lot of data. They make decisions based on data, and we don't know what the data is. I'm telling you this, and still there's some people who don't even want to hear it. They're like, all right, Tim, do whatever you want to do. But I'm just using it as an analogy to let people know that that exists in all forms, I believe. So I try not to be so critical because I never know when they got their own data that they're looking at that's driving their decision making. All right. Every time I laugh, I send $2. Well, I hope I made you laugh tonight. Is anything to keep you from getting pissed off because there was a lot to be pissed off about. So it's all good. Her Rain Dog. Thank you, Tim, for being you. Well, thank you for being you and acknowledging that I'm doing something right. We work hard out here. Thrasher, what's up? I agree with the caller. Tim kicked me in the butt. Well, I had to, man. I had to think about what I would need to hear, what I would want. And, yeah. So thank you, brother, for my friend Johnson. Thank you, Johnson, for acknowledging I was onto something. Jody says Steyer is an anti-Bloomberg. We may need him. I like what the caller said, though, Tim, that Steyer is pandering like hell. And then a couple callers said that. And I agree, probably is. Like, I have no reason not to trust you guys 100%. That's one beautiful thing about the Wolfpack, man. Nobody's getting paid to think a certain way. We just real people. Thomas, much love and support from Missouri. Been watching your show since 2019. I'm glad you support Bernie 2020. Hey, what I'm going to do? Be a Biden supporter? Get out of here, Johnson. Ain't going to happen, my brother. Jennifer, I was kicked off the voter roll in California, moved to no party preference. I've lived in the same address for 8 years and have always been registered. Check your registration, people. Oh, man, you heard the story from Jennifer. What happened to her? Check your registration, guys. Be careful. Princess Queen. Thank you, Princess Queen, for donating. She says, Tim, what do you think about Trump firing the witnesses from the impeachment? And what about Steyer being for climate when he was in fossil fuel industry? Yeah, I know. I think about that. Both things. I just found out about Trump firing people earlier today. I think it's hilarious. Fascism in the way, y'all. And I always try to remind people about that with Steyer. Steyer's doing good work now because he did such bad work in the past. That's what he's trying to correct. He's trying to get his karma right. You know, as we get older, we start thinking about, hey, what's my legacy going to be? He don't want his legacy to be, he gave a bunch of people black lung. But he did, Johnson. At least he's trying to do something about it. What else can you do? You already did the damage. Try to clean it up. What you going to say? But I agree with you, Princess. It's the least you can do. You are a billionaire. Rock Lee. What did Rock Lee say? Rock Lee in the house. Yes, my people, yes. Damn it. I can't get to it, Rock Lee. This system's so jacked up. The last comment is always the hardest to read, Rock. Always. Oh, and Centrals get 14%. Bernie sweeps all the delegates. Booyah! That would be a beautiful thing, wouldn't it, Rock? All right, guys. Look, check the YouTube channel for more content as I take videos and break them into little pieces so people can sit through them and watch the entire video. We've been doing a lot of great things, guys. I got a great interview coming up, releasing with Irami Osifrimpong on the Funky Academic. That's going to come out. I got a couple of great interviews lined up, including Corey Bush. Cora Bush ran for office out there in Missouri. So she's going to be my guest. We're going to interview coming up with her. Then I got my guy, Jamie Kilstein, who I did his show. Now he's going to do my show. So that's coming up. And I got like 4 or 5 things lined up, man. I tell you guys, 2020 is our year. It's also this campaign, but it's also our year for all the work we're going to put in. We're going to move it to the next level, guys. So please, become a member of the Tim Black Wolfpack. There's a reason for it, because we're going to kick some major butt. We'll get some stuff done. We're going to move the needle. What we do matters. We are a community, and we're going to make sure we make noise all the way out from here through 2021. Be a part of it. Text me the word cornbread to code 21,000. Become a member of the Wolfpack here on Facebook or on YouTube. And go to Patreon, Tim's Take Live. What else? Have a good weekend. How about you guys have a good weekend? A safe weekend. How about you don't let nobody take your cornbread? How about that? How about you keep all your cornbread or share your cornbread with your family and your friends, but you don't just give it away? And how about instead of you arguing with people, you do like my man Cuz said, you just sprinkle a little facts on it and you get up out of there. Because, see, you can't change someone's opinion. All you can do is give them information and let them change their own opinions. That's the rule. Right. What else we got? Let me say hello to people on Facebook. It's weird. I started this show and I didn't like shout people out. So what's up, Bonnie and Sandra and Rebecca? Thank you, Rebecca, for rolling one with Rebecca, you are hilarious, sister. What's up? Who's this? Who's over here? Who I got on Facebook land? Roberta, Ginger Liberty, Steven, George. Huh? It's loading really slow, guys. That's because I got so many people watching. It's loading real slow. It's like the crank is turning real slow. But I see Julie's over here. I see you, Julie. Thanks for being here. It won't even let me see everybody. There's so many people watching right now. We've been really turning up the heat. I want to give a shout out to everybody who called up tonight. You make the show great. It's because of you guys. You make the show popular. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for telling a friend. And let's just keep going. Let's be a part of the solution, not the problem. Yeah, let's do that. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you soon. It's like this system can't take it. Too many great people. Yeah. Have a great weekend. Keep your cornbread. I'll talk to you soon. Subscribe and click the bell notification. Guys, we got to get the numbers up. Everybody watching, subscribe to us on YouTube. It's 700 of you right now. Everybody should subscribe. It's a free subscription. Subscribe. Click the bell. You get mad at me? Unsubscribe. But for now, let's show some love. Subscribe. Click the bell for the notification. And get all notifications. All right? All right, I got love for you. I'll see you soon. Bernie won. Oh, there you go. My name is Tim Black. You're now tuned into the most watched Black independent media news network in the country. We cover politics, we cover pop culture, we cover whatever matters in your world. If it goes down, I'm covering it. We do a show, live show, Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. Friday nights, we got what? A call-in show. Anybody can call in. Throughout the week, we put out little clips, short clips of important news. You don't want to miss it. Stay on top of your news. Go with a reliable source. I'm there for you. TBTV, this is where it's at. Subscribe today and remember, don't you let nobody take your cornbread. Johnson. Popular demand, Johnson is here. I have new Johnson designs in my shop. If you want to pick them up, check them out. They are hilarious. They are revolutionary. And they're all Johnson. You're going to love them, man. Check them out. Both parties suck, Johnson. It's one of my favorites. Independent media only, Johnson. Keep it real. We are all Johnson. We are. We're one big community, guys. Go check it out. Independent media only. Johnson's in the house. Both parties suck Johnson. We are here. They got a special going on right now. Free shipping. Get it today. Wolfpack.